Okay, well, this is an unexpected video. Hello, guys. So, I was brought to my attention this particular video by NeverNotJune called Insomniac's Peter Wasn't Nerfed. You're Media Illiterate. And that title alone already piqued my interest because I did play the game, I made a video about it, and I can definitely say that Peter was nerfed in the game. I have watched so basically I watched like a few minutes of this video, and I didn't and I didn't like what he was doing. So I thought to myself, you know what? Why don't I just make a react video and respond to his points throughout this entire thing? Because you know, I want to hear what his arguments are. So yeah, without further ado, let's actually look at why we're media illiterate.
So look, I realized a lot of people genuinely think that Peter Parker was quote unquote nerfed in Spider-Man 2. Like Insomniac did it to just make Miles look like the superior Spider-Man. So
Yes,
I
was.
replayed this game specifically to prove to you that he wasn't nerfed, that he was tired, he was burnt out. Honestly, I think people saying this whole thing
It's gonna be one of those videos. It's gonna be one of those. Peter is tired, guys. Peter is tired. Like I hear this argument like a lot. Like Peter is tired. Like what is he tired about? Hasn't he been Spider-Man for 10 years at this point? And everyone just keeps saying that they're tired.
about him being nerfed, like skip the cutscenes and only paid attention when they were playing as Peter Parker.
Okay, yeah. So this point in particular, I want to hear it again.
That he was tired, he was burnt out. Honestly, I think people saying this whole thing about him being nerfed, like skip the cutscenes and only paid attention when they were
like, this is incredibly bad faith. Like, what do you mean people skipped the cutscenes? Like, if you actually think about it, when you play the game for the everyone who plays a video game for the first time doesn't skip the cutscenes. Who skips a cutscene when they play the game for the first time? Like, this is incredibly bad faith.
We're playing as Peter Parker. And that's the problem. You don't even try to engage with the media you're interacting with. Rather, you just shut your brain off and get dopamine hits every time you push square. So with that being
like, what is this? What is he saying? You guys don't want to engage with the freaking story. You guys are just skipping the cutscenes. Like, what?
I'm going to break down how almost every cutscene proves Peter wasn't nerfed, how Miles isn't taking his place permanently, why you think Peter got nerfed, and I'm going to show you that I know you weren't paying attention. Let's get into
Oh no, okay.
Okay, so let's start with the first game. I know that probably makes no sense to you because you're probably like, why would we start with the first game and talk about the second game? That's stupid. Well, if you're now 6 years old, you know what storytelling.
Whoa, what the hell? What is this? Why is he like, I don't understand. Like, why is he just like insulting his audience? Like, he's like, this is my problem with this video. And like, this is like, it's like almost 1 minute in, and he's like so incredibly condescending and just insulting their audience. Like, why is he doing that?
Is. Anyway, Peter starts this game laying down, probably from a hard night of being Spider-Man. You see a pan shot of like his room, and not gonna lie, this is like the most Asmongold levels of disgusting I've ever seen. But unlike Asmongold, I'm sure the neglect of his room is a reflection of how exhausted Peter is. You know, anyone who leaves food out like this.
Whoa. It's a reflection on how tired Peter is. What do you mean? No, it's because it's because he's too focused on being Spider-Man. That's why he constantly has like gadgets and like it's like working on things. I thought this is what it was trying to imply. Not that he was tired. Are you forgetting? Like, where in the first game was it ever implied that Peter was like tired of being Spider-Man?
typically is going through some shit. And people like this aren't just disgusting people to be disgusting people. They typically are so occupied with something, like mentally especially, they don't have the energy to deal with things like this. But anyway, Peter gets a notification that Fisk is up to some fuck shit. And what does he do? He rushes out of bed and
I like how clearly the focus point is about Fisk and how Peter is trying to catch him. And you're seriously telling me Peter is tired, despite the fact that he's so hung over Fisk. He has been going after Fisk. He even says it in the game. He has been going after Fisk for 8 years. This is what he's saying. And now you're here. This makes it even worse because this is like the first scene of the very first game, and you're using that as evidence that Peter is nerfed, that Peter is tired in the second game. Wouldn't I'm sorry, but like, wouldn't this scene wouldn't this story be the one to need to explain to us that Peter is tired instead of the second game? Because you're using a scene from the first game that has nothing to do with anything.
dons his costume without a care in the world for the most part. However, we also see his Spider-Manning is catching up with him. Along with his dirty ass room, we get his landlord slipping past rent due letters under his door. So we see that despite his eagerness to be Spider-Man and that it's still there, it's taking a toll on him. We don't meet Peter in his prime here. This is a
That's not what? It's taking a toll on him. No, he just has troubles balancing his life. It's not.
Peter's
Whatever.
pretty much settled into his routine already. We see him acknowledging the bills, but choosing to jump out of the window anyway to save the day. No hesitation.
Yeah, because he's more focused on saving lives.
No sighs, no huffs and puffs, just a leap and a swing. This is such a great intro, especially when you take into account the music they're playing here. Now,
Also, you're saying you're saying he's tired of being Spider-Man. He's nerfed. When in the first game, he did like so many things all by himself. Like, do I need to remind you about the fact that Spider-Man fought the Sinister Six with 14 broken bones? This is something I kept bringing up in my own video even. Like, how are you gonna sit there and tell me, Peter, I'm sorry, but isn't Peter, you're saying Peter is tired? Like, doesn't that like automatically nerf him? Because, like, doesn't that automatically nerf him?
oh, this song is called Alive. See, this song is a banger, but did any of you actually listen to the lyrics here? No, you were just pressing R2 and not paying any attention? Thank you.
Oh my god. He's pulling a Ruby. He's pulling a Ruby fan. He's literally trying to argue that the lyrics of a song, that you had to pay attention to the lyrics of the song in order to understand that Peter is tired. I can't believe this. This is something. This is like something that like a lot of Ruby fans do for like things in the show, to be like, oh, if you actually pay attention to the lyrics of this song, then you should understand about the characters of la 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 la. Why do I need to listen to the lyrics of a song to understand the story and the characters? Why? Because like the point of the it's not the point of the song to tell the story. It's not the song's job to tell the story. It's the story's job to tell the story. It's the writing within it. Like, what does that have to do? What does that have to do with media literacy? Like, I'm genuinely questioning. Like, what does that have to do with media literacy? Shouldn't the story be already good enough to explain to me what is going on and everything? I recently watched the Daredevil show. I don't recall having to like listen to the lyrics to understand the story in Daredevil. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm Spider-Man. Yeah, I know you were. Anyway, here's some of the lyrics to the song.
Okay, I'm skipping this. I don't want to get copyright claimed.
Now, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here because this song is literally about Peter and nobody paid attention to that. Do you think the devs just chose the song because it sounded cool? I mean,
I'm sorry. Why are you using a song? Why are you using the first scene of the first game when this has nothing to do with the second game? Why are you using the so this is especially bad because like you use the first scene of the first game to explain to us that he's tired and then whatever, when throughout the whole game characters go through an arc, things happen, they develop, and at the end they changed or learned something. And this is something that even Jay's reviews did with The Last of Us Part 2, where he was like, Ellie doesn't open up to people because she learned that to Joel. And he used a scene from when Joel told Ellie, you're not gonna bring up Tess ever. And it's like, this is the proof as to why Ellie doesn't open up to anyone. When this has nothing to do with anything. Because you need to remember that, like, Joel went through an arc, and at the end of the game, he opened up to Ellie and actually started talking about Sarah and everything. This is exactly what this guy is doing, using a scene from the first game that has nothing to do with anything.
I mean, anyway, listen, let's jump into the Spider-Man 2 intro. So here we see Peter rush into class, looking so happy to have a job. He's in his real element here, teaching, changing the world by shaping young minds. You know, that of which Peter wants to do all throughout this game. But we'll get there. Now, we see Peter in his best youth pastor get up, but they show us a scene where Miles communicated to Peter that he's wearing his Spider-Man suit under his outfit, and he quickly covers it up. Now, did you catch the symbolism, or did you just think it was a cool scene to show that, hey, he's Spidey-Man?
It's a symbolism? It's a symbolism. Really, it's not just Peter forgot to adjust his clothes because he was in a hurry. Like, what do you think? Because he was late for school? He always wears the suit underneath his clothes.
No, it's literally to show that he's keeping Spider-Man under wraps here. He wants to present himself one way, but Spider-Man is always underneath.
I'm sorry. Do you genuinely think I am 6 years old? Because how can he use that as an argument? How can he what? Peter hiding his Spider-Man suit underneath his clothes is a symbolism? No. Okay, no. Okay, so what is he gonna say?
He wore the suit just in case, but clearly he doesn't want to have to use the suit, as proven by this scene.
He doesn't want to use the suit?
Marco, why today? I'm so getting fired.
Going back a bit, I noticed the only reason the spiders come outside in the first place is because Miles' spider sense goes off here.
Miles can just run right across the pond?
And that's weird.
No. Hold on. No.
Because Miles' spider sense goes off here.
Miles can just run right across the pond.
Is that... I thought that was just because sand got in his face. Is it spider sense? What? I'm pretty sure in that scene someone actually like closes the windows because they noticed that like sand was going through the air.
It's weird, right? Why didn't Peter's go off? You're telling me he didn't?
Because he got sand in his face.
See the sand coming through the window? See, I think he did. I think he wanted Miles to take care of it, and only came out due to Miles saying that he needed him.
Can anybody?
Okay. This is the problem with Peter taking the job as a teacher. I said that in the video as well. Peter, teaching jobs have a being a teacher in a school, they have a very strict schedule. How the heck is he gonna take the time to be Spider-Man and at the same time being a teacher? Like, yes, Miles is there and can help, but here is the thing: what if like another like big. What if Doc Ock broke out again and reassembled get it again the Sinister Six? Like what then? Do you seriously think Miles can handle this all by himself? He's 17 at this point, and Peter has been Spider-Man for 10 years. What the heck is Miles gonna do against them?
I need your help.
And two things here. One, Miles is acknowledging he's not up to Peter's level yet. So you weirdos can stop
You see, he's not up to Peter's level.
trying to say Miles feels buffed compared to Peter. Because
And this is at the beginning of the game. This doesn't mean anything. Because I'm pretty sure anyone who would see a giant sand monster outside would ask for help. I'm pretty sure if I was Spider-Man and I had another Spider-Man with me, I would definitely ask him for help when there's a giant sand monster outside.
he himself acknowledges he's still the mentee. Also, I don't know why you're so obsessed with Miles being put in like this weird second place. I can think of a few reasons, but you don't want to go down the rabbit hole with me. Two,
I have no
Peter
idea what you're talking about.
needed that job, and he was probably hoping Miles could take care of it alone. This
Peter could have taken like any other job that doesn't need him to be a teacher. Come on, what is this? Nah, come on. Like, let us go back in the first game. He was working with Otto. He didn't have a strict schedule. He still had the time to go to the lab and still be Spider-Man. The only reason he was late is because of a specific thing that was going on with because of a specific thing that was going on. And the only reason Peter lost his job was because Norman intervened. And also another thing. This is like 2 years after the first game. What the heck did Peter do during these 2 years? Did he not get a job or anywhere else? He's like for photography. Did he not like try to get some money from there? He does in the second game for some reason, but did he not do it before? What was he doing during then? What the heck? I don't understand.
right here shows Peter's faith in Miles, even if he didn't fully believe it himself, or was just self-aware enough to know that Marco was way too big of a threat. Next, we see Peter fighting the
No, oh my god. Well, duh.
mini San Marcos, and bro's going absolute f***ing ham, even when Miles calls him. But then he gets a call from Principal Evans. Things are okay until
Yeah, why does he take the call with Principal Evans? Why does he take the call from an unknown person while he's fighting these sand people? Like, it's just distracting him.
she asks.
Where are you?
After this, he starts to get swarmed by those San Marcos. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, this is the point where he begins to get nerfed. Do you not see that he's getting overwhelmed with the situation?
Oh, he gets overwhelmed by a bunch of brainless sand thingies. Are you... Despite the fact that he was able... Despite the fact that he takes on like so many freaking goons in the first game and throughout the rest of the game, yet apparently he gets taken over by a bunch of brainless sand people, despite the fact that we took them out like without any effort and previously. He's Spider-Man. Need I remind you how strong Spider-Man is in this game? He's incredibly strong. He slowed down a crane. He was stopping a train. He did all kinds of stuff in the first game. So I'm not buying this freaking excuse. Oh, he got overwhelmed because he got a call. Like, because he got a call, he can hang up at any time. He has no reason to keep talking with the principal when he knows since the beginning that he's gonna get fired.
Not necessarily just physically, but emotionally. He wanted that
Emotionally?
job, but he had to pull himself out of class to deal with Marco. He's caught between two worlds here, literally, and it's getting to him. Tell me you like empathy and
What? Huh? He left on his own. He decided to leave, bro.
have I had any real world responsibilities in your life without telling me, right? But anyway, here's a scene
What?
that I've seen. And have I had any real caught between two worlds here, literally, and it's getting to him. Tell me you like empathy, and have I had any real world responsibilities in your life without telling me, right?
Can you stop insulting your audience? He literally just said we are lacking empathy, and what did he say? I say again.
Getting to him. Tell me you like empathy, and have I had any real world responsibilities in your
He's assuming we don't have any real world responsibilities, and that we lack.
here, literally, and it's getting to him. Tell me you like empathy, and have I had any real
We lack empathy, and we don't have
world responsibilities.
and we don't have real world responsibilities. Like, are you kidding me?
In your life without telling me, right? But anyway, here's a scene that I've
What are your responsibilities, Mister your media illiterate?
seen used in the argument that Peter was nerfed. Here we see Peter getting swatted out of the sky. And okay, listen, I get it. Where's the Spidey sense, right? Well,
It's not even just his Spidey sense. It's the fact that he decided to punch Sandman despite him being like gigantic.
look at this. Where the fuck is Peter gonna go here? This is
Why does he look at this? Why does he Why is he trying to punch Sandman? This is so stupid.
like a split second happening, and bro just has to take the hit here.
Do you not remember like a few minutes ago where he did actually dodge all the hands? And you're telling me he can't dodge this hand that is slowly moving at him? Spider-Man is literally fast enough that he can dodge lightning strikes
Now Peter can take
and bullets. You're telling me he can't dodge this?
hit for sure, but he still feels it. He's not faking for the villain's sake, so he's dazed. And then
It's almost like he's nerfed.
comes the arms coming to like pull him under the sand, right? But let's analyze this for a second. Sandman's attack was a natural disaster level event. We're talking skyscraper sized, citywide destruction, and a completely unhinged Sandman splitting himself into dozens of different forms, like I said. Getting buried in that chaos wasn't about Peter being weak, it was about showing the magnitude of the threat. Even the most powerful motherfucker can get caught off.
You do realize that he fought Sandman before, right? That's what they said. That's what Peter said. That's what the story says. That he fought Sandman before. He fought the Sinister Six. He fought Doc Ock. He fought like he's been on the job for 10 years at this point. This is not the first time he fought Sandman. I'm pretty sure at that point he would have a plan on how to take him out.
Guard when the battlefield itself turns against them. And look closer, dude. Peter wasn't alone in getting tossed around. Miles struggled too. The difference is Peter took point. He went in first, took the brunt of the initial attacks, and held Sandman off long enough for Miles to regroup and push forward. That's
What? He held Sandman long enough so that Miles could come in and do what? They didn't even come up with a plan, and Peter just decided to punch him. Come on.
leadership. That's not a downgrade here. If anything, the fact that Peter got back up after being buried alive in a collapsing construction zone and still fought through the mission
He was about to die here, and Miles had to save him.
proves he's probably tougher than ever right here. He didn't lose power, he's just
Oh, he's tougher than ever. Yet he almost died here.
faced an enemy operating at an absurd scale. And yeah, this scene is meant to show that Miles is becoming a decent Spider-Man, but this isn't meant to show Peter's weaknesses. Rather, it's meant to show
It's not meant to show Peter's weaknesses, yet he almost died by being buried in sand. If Miles wasn't there to save him, he would have died.
Peter's overextended strength and perseverance and Miles' rise into the role. Miles helps him. Nigga, the tagline of this game is better together, not Miles is better than Peter, nigga. This
Okay, just because the story is trying to tell you, oh, this is you're saying that it is about greater together again. Yet throughout the whole game, Miles doesn't want to help Peter, or like Peter doesn't get Miles' help, or like this is like constantly this is constantly the thing that happens in the game, where I constantly ask myself, where is Miles? Why doesn't Peter call Miles for help? If this is greater together, why doesn't Peter call Miles for help?
To me, this shows that they need each other. We already saw Miles needing Peter, now Peter needs Miles. This is like a natural progression. I think this scene is more symbolic of a torch passing than a
It's symbolic, guys.
Peter is so weak.
It's gotta be one of those videos, isn't it? It's gotta be one of those where it's like he takes like he's gonna be like one of those people where like they take like the smallest thing and be like, oh, this is symbolism, this is a metaphor for blah blah blah, and they like start over analyzing stuff. Is that what it's gonna be? Is that what it's gonna be? Because it really feels like it.
We can help us moment. You're just too far up your own ass to see that Peter quite literally isn't Superman.
Bro, stop insulting your audience like that.
He's vulnerable to all the same shit most regular humans are. He just happens to have powers. Another scene I see often pointed to.
What? Well, hold on.
Shit, most far up your own ass to see that Peter quite literally isn't Superman. He's
no one is saying he's Superman. But we should expect that Peter is more competent at this point after 10 years of being Spider-Man.
Vulnerable to all the same shit most regular humans are. He just happens to have powers. Another scene I see often pointed to in how Peter was nerfed is when he's hit by a lightning bolt as he attempts to punch Sandman. People said that he was able to dodge.
Why was he trying to punch Sandman again, my guy?
Electricity in the first game.
Yes, he was able to dodge electricity in the first game.
Now, excuse me, did bro not just dodge multiple mini tornadoes? See, I think what's happening.
Oh, what? Hold on, again.
Attempts to punch Sandman. People said that he was able to dodge electricity in the first game. Now, excuse me, did bro not just dodge multiple mini tornadoes? See,
okay.
I think what's happening here is that he's not thinking. I think he wants this.
Oh my god, no. He's not thinking. He doesn't need to think for the spider sense to go off. What? Since when does he have to like... Why is he not thinking? What the hell? Why is Peter not thinking? Why would he just go into the fight trying to punch Sandman? He's not thinking? And also, just because he dodged a bunch of tornadoes, what does that have to do with him not being able to dodge the lightning? He still wasn't able to dodge the lightning. Address that instead of being like, well, actually, he dodged a bunch of tornadoes. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Okay, his spider sense is acting inconsistent. Great.
Fight to be over as quickly as possible so he can get on with his life. I think this is like almost a kill shot punch for him, or at least he's too annoyed to really think about what he's doing and doesn't.
Yeah, he's too annoyed to think what he's doing, despite the fact that in the first game, he was always quick on his feet and was able to like minimize the damage and save the people. What happened after like the brakes broke from the train? He was able to stop it. He immediately called Yuri and was like, is the construction site on this place happening again? So he quickly thought of redirecting the train there so that no one is getting hurt. Like, this is the kind of stuff that he did in the first game. And you're suddenly saying, wait, hold on a second. You're saying he's not thinking. Doesn't that nerf him? What are we doing here?
Doesn't fully have a plan right now. He's distracted, he's emotional, and he just goes for it. Yes, Spidey sense should have kicked in, but let me know.
Yes, Spidey sense should. So you admit that his Spidey sense should have gone off, but for some reason you don't admit that he got nerfed.
If I'm wrong, and I know you will because you're Spider-Man fans, but doesn't Spidey sense only work when the writers need it to? Yeah, man, I think
he did not just say that. He did not just say that. Mate, if you establish something in a story, then you should stick by those rules. You can't tell me Spidey sense doesn't go off when he's trying to punch Sandman. Or like, seriously? It's only when the right... If Spider-Man is sure, I can understand that like sometimes Spider-Man can get hurt when he's like fighting against superhumans and stuff. Like, I can understand, but like I like when he fought the Sinister Six, he was overwhelmed because there were like so many like going on at him at once. I can understand when he's like sometimes getting hurt or attacked because, you know, they're also superhumans. But dear lord, even later on in the game when he like doesn't dodge, isn't able to like dodge a robot bird thing that you break effortlessly during gameplay. If you established that Peter is able to dodge lightning strikes and bullets and all that, then just stick by those rules. I'm no like comic book expert, but I'm pretty sure like from what I remember is that Spider-Man in the comics like doesn't sense when like an attack is coming up. He senses when there's danger nearby. That's from like, I could be wrong on this, but this is from what I remember. Like they pretty much like buffed his spider sense in like later adaptations and stuff.
I think he's just very distracted here. Miles does something very similar later down the line, but we'll get there.
Obviously, it always depends on like which version of Spider-Man it is. Like if like again, you tell me he's fast enough to do all of this, but he's suddenly not fast enough to do all of this. Like what's the point?
Peter actually gets hit another time by lightning as he and Miles are trying to wrap up the fight. However, this time it's a bit different. And yes, if you're looking at things with just your eyes, he gets hit and that's another point to him being nerfed, right? But if you're media literate...
Oh, okay. I'm media literate, so explain to me what the point.
You'll see what happens 5 seconds later. The same thing that took Peter out for a bit is the same thing that empowered Miles. Him getting empowered here is more of a symbol than anything. It shows the city right now needs Miles. No,
What? That completely defeats your argument, bro. What? Oh, wait. Let's go back.
Later. The same thing that took Peter out for a bit is the same thing that empowered Miles.
Yeah, so what does that have to do with anything?
Getting empowered here is more of a symbol than anything.
It's a symbol it's a symbol that the guy that has electric powers can be shot by lightning and not get affected by it. And the guy who doesn't have electric powers gets affected by lightning.
It shows the city right now needs Miles.
It's almost you're saying you're saying the city needs Miles. So you're saying Peter is nerfed.
Get the argument here. It's a bit egregious that he keeps getting electrocuted, but I think each hit serves a purpose, and it's not just done to quote unquote nerf Peter. It's
what's the purpose?
all meant to show that again, Peter is tired. He's not.
He's tired. He's tired.
Thinking straight. Fast forwarding a bit.
What? Since when do you have to think when using your spider sense? It just goes off.
We see Peter getting fired from his job on his first day.
Principal Evans.
Yeah. Guess who decided to show up today?
I know this looks terrible.
Looks?
And I'm so sorry.
It's more than looks.
No, I know.
The Peter is so stupid.
I know.
This
And
is
this is the
absolutely
last thing that I
ridiculous.
wanted to happen, and it'll never happen again.
I've had enough of this.
No, look.
No more excuses. Your job is to protect these students, not to abandon them. You're fired.
It's almost like Peter should have been a teacher because if anything happens, she can't be there. And he has to be Spoodermint.
Now combine that with the fact that he was damned if he did help Miles and damned if he didn't. This scene is honestly peak Spider-Man, showing the consequences of his actions. See, I genuinely don't understand the nerf argument because Spider-Man was created to
You kept bringing up things that prove that he's nerfed, and now you're saying I don't understand the nerf argument. He's tired, guys. We could just use this. We could just use this excuse to like every single time a character is nerfed. Oh, they're just tired, guys. They're just tired. They need a nap. Peter, how old is Peter in this game? He's like 25 years old. He should previously in the first game he knew how to balance his life. He struggled balancing his life, but he had like a better plan on what he was going to do and everything. He even got an apartment at the end of the game, and now suddenly he's tired, guys. After 2 years, he's tired. He's sleeping. He needs a nap, boys. Like,
to be the everyman superhero, the one that you could relate to.
What do you think about Spider-Man caught on? Do you think it was really just the I can relate to this guy aspect
oh my god. Oh my god. Is he sitting? No.
of it?
I think there were a lot of reasons. I think perhaps the main reason was the I can relate to him. Because he was shy. He wasn't that successful with girls. He had to worry about his family. I think most teenagers reading it thought to themselves, hey, that could be me, you know.
It's almost as if, okay, but then Spider-Man later on get the girl and everything.
He's not Superman. He takes punches both literally and metaphorically. And as humans, we can only take so...
I'm tired of this freaking argument that he's relatable because he's tired. Spider-Man is able to do way more than any normal human. And the point of him balances out his life is trying to figure out how he can be both Spider-Man and live a normal life. You know, something that like people struggle with balancing their life all the time. Yes, but you need to also understand that Peter Parker is also his own character. He's not a freaking self-insert.
So much punching. Getting fired from a job you just started and were excited about and especially competent in, it can kill anyone's spirits. He's got a responsibility to it.
Yeah, but this was really stupid because why would he take a job as a school teacher?
City and to his students. He can't choose both and one side of his life suffers. This is what being Spider-Man costs him.
You being Spider-Man? It must be so hard keeping a job.
Oh nah.
After getting fired, Miles calls Peter and tells him about an open photo call at the New York Bulletin.
Hey, sorry about the job. You weren't the worst teacher we've ever had, if that helps.
Think I can put that on my resume?
Well, listen, there's an open photo call at the New York Bulletin. I just sent a shot in yesterday. It's not much money, but it's money.
That's Robbie Robertson's paper. We used to work together at the Bugle.
How is it that, okay, so like Peter is struggling with money in the game for some reason. Need I remind you, in the Miles game, he was able to like build gadgets and stuff. He probably had to he was able to like build these like training holograms for Miles. He had the money to build all of that. He was not thinking to get a photography job, maybe to at least get money. And now you're telling me that in the second game he doesn't have any money, and he struggles to get a job. Like, what the heck?
I think I know just what he'd like. Thanks, Miles.
But I think digging deeper, this is about Peter connecting with his hobbies and life outside of Spider-Man. When asked
Well, I just have no idea what again, it's just him overanalyzing things that has nothing to do with anything.
aspect of Peter that I've always loved is his penchant for photography. As a photographer myself, photography is almost like meditation. It's a very thoughtful practice. One that's
What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? If he did it as a hobby, I'm sorry, if he wanted to do photography as a hobby, then why did he not do it like a long time ago? Why is he doing it now that he's struggling with money? Why did he not do it previously? If this is like such a beautiful thing that he loves to do.
it's perfect for relaxation and the type of thing that Peter needs at this stage in his life. I genuinely feel as though
I don't even know anymore.
this game, in every cutscene, at least in the main story, tells the journey of Peter Parker needing a break, but you hoes don't want to listen to me. They want Peter.
I don't understand. So, Peter needs a break, but I thought the arc of the game was him needing to learn balance, which is something that he already resolved in the first game. So, what? I thought he had to learn to balance his life. Why does Peter? What does him taking a break have to do with balancing his life? Isn't that just like removing one of your responsibilities in order to... This is just him ignoring his responsibilities.
To be this like weird ubermensch of man, and while he physically is, he's also 25 years old. He's a 25-year-old man.
He's a 25-year-old. He has been Spider-Man for 8 years. He had a job in the first game. Okay, I'm not gonna repeat myself.
And emotionally, everyone needs a break, even Superman.
What's wrong?
Everyone needs a break. I'm sorry. Did Peter not already... I'm sorry, this is nothing new for Peter. Did he not take a break in Miles Morales? Because he went to Europe. What did he went like to Europe with MJ in the game? Him taking a break to be from being Spider-Man isn't new to him. This isn't a new thing for Peter. And this game makes it seem like as if this is like this grand arc that he needs to learn to take a break, even though this completely goes against the balance.
I got fired.
Oh no.
You were so excited about this job.
Oh no.
No, I had the whole semester planned out. Next week, we were gonna make a potato-powered helicopter.
I'm so sorry.
Now we cut to Peter bringing MJ into Aunt May's, and now Peter's house. We see again how Peter hasn't had time to clean up, as evidenced by him playing Asmongold 2025 Simulator. Now we'll bring up MJ soon, but I want to mention the part where he brings up the fact that May was in debt. She mortgaged...
May was in debt and mortgaged the house and everything. I wondered to myself, like, here's something I'm asking. Like, did Peter not have an apartment at the end of the first game? Like, I guess he moved out to like move into May's house, but like, wouldn't he have the money to? Wouldn't he already have the money to live in her house at that point? Because this is 2 years. This is like 2 years after the first game. Wouldn't he and MJ already have known how to? Like, come on. He decided to live in a house he can't freaking like he can't pay for.
The house to keep Feast afloat. And this too is another example of sacrificing one side of your life to help another. It's poetic in that she sacrificed her well-being for others. It seems like the Parker generosity was alive and well in her too. Sight! But this also means that Peter is now in debt as well. So not only does he get fired, he lost May recently, and now he has debt to attend.
Recently? It's been okay. He lost
more than 4K in fact.
He lost May recently, which is why he like struggles with his emotions and is tired. It's not like he lost Uncle Ben before and like probably other loved ones along the way. So Peter at this point should be like more emotionally stronger, and he shouldn't be freaking tired or being Spider-Man.
I don't know about you, but being in debt's pretty fucking stressful. And that boy broke as hell. But anyway, also in this scene.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure that's not the first time Peter was in debt or something. Come on.
We're shown that Peter and MJ's relationship probably isn't in the best of places right now. And we'll dive even deeper into that.
It's not in the best places right now. So everything they went through in the first game was completely pointless. Okay.
Later, but we can see here that MJ says he's never really home for dinner.
Hey, so have you thought any more about moving in?
We talked about this. I need to be in the city, close to where the action is.
Just use your mic.
But think of all the romantic dinners we could have here.
When was the last time you were home for dinner?
Fair point.
If this were the Raimi movies,
I'm the other guy.
What? I'm sorry, what was that? MJ doesn't want to leave Peter. Even at the end of the first game, she was like, I've never stopped wanting to or something. So she always wanted to be with him. I don't understand.
Anywho, here we approach the main theme of Peter's arc, and maybe even the whole game, balance. Now
how does that... How is that balance if he takes a break? That's just removing his responsibility.
It's really disappointing me because this is so early in the game.
And also, this is something he already learned in the first game already. What the heck?
Convinces me that
why do we have to repeat the same thing again? He's 25. He's been 10 years. No.
Play as kicked out Venom, huh? Anyway,
no.
Just for a second.
Stop. I don't know. Stop. Stop. This was Peter when he was still in high school. This was when he first got his powers.
Superhero. He's neither super nor a hero. So what does that add up to? A fraud? An attention seeker? A bunch of nonsense.
Why are you playing the whole...
What was that?
What?
Peter.
Place the whole clip.
Oh, I thought I heard a rat in the wall.
Hey, what's wrong?
I thought I heard a rat. Punch that rat!
I was just...
Oh no.
When I was your age,
why are you playing?
I was head of the debate club, captain of the soccer team.
Why are you
and
playing the whole
second
scene with
violin
pauses
in
and everything?
orchestra. Every year, I wanted a new feather.
Want to
in
make
my
a
cap.
point?
But when I tried to add honor roll student on top,
Mate,
I fell apart.
Mate, I was able to explain the scene in a without needing to have to play the whole thing. Even if you decide to play the whole thing, even if I decide to like play a long scene, I still like cut out all the pauses so that it will flow a bit faster. I don't want to like just let the whole clip play with all the pauses and everything in between.
Instead of being good at a few things, I wasn't good at anything. So I scaled back.
This is something that Peter should have already learned.
Balance is
something you should have already learned, Peter.
Not a destination. I'm still working on that.
Why are you playing the whole scene?
Oh, come on. Come on.
Why are you playing the whole scene? Look, MJ, I drew a monster face on my wall.
Maybe May had a point.
Don't tell me this is one of
Can't
those...
take too much on. Something's gotta give.
May is telling us what Peter needed and still needs in his life. Again, May sacrificed her well-being, her home, her money for others. And again, Peter does the same, and they're both to their detriment. She says herself she hasn't mastered the art of balance, that she's still working on it. Even though it's been years after this scene, she still was faltering, showing that again, balance isn't a destination, it's a process. No.
Okay, but this is something that Peter should have learned at this point. He shouldn't be struggling for money at this point. He should have already had some kind of plan on how to, like even if he struggles with balance, at least have a stable a job you could keep, like in the first game.
I never thought I'd be one of those YouTubers, but look at the walls of Peter's room. Peter is a massive nerd, but also an overachiever. On his walls, we see a number of awards. In specific, we see a Pioneer Award for the PIM.
I love you, Dr. Pim.
Science Summer Camp, his college diploma, and his first place robotics award.
I
On
really
the other
don't
side,
care.
we see another first place award in the N1.
I need to look at the backgrounds to understand the writing of the story.
I see Junior Science Fair. On his desk, we see trophies for math and science. Bro was on the top of his game.
What is it? You okay?
An overachiever. And you know he brought the energy with him being Spider-Man for the first time. He's never been one to half-ass anything. But again, everyone has their limit. Instead of being good at everything, like being a good boyfriend and mentor and even Spider-Man, he became good at nothing. And don't get me wrong, he was still decent in those things, but it was enough of a falter to notice a difference. Others noticed it. He noticed it. So no, he wasn't nerfed. And even if it was...
What does that have to do with being nerfed? We're not talking about... What is it? What? Those were things that we're talking about the here and now, buddy. We're talking about the here and now.
It was a narrative choice. They're telling a story here.
It was a narrative choice to make Peter Parker a freaking wimp who can't do anything and need freaking to call Miles for help because he can't do anything himself.
I don't know how you guys don't understand that. When you people say he was nerfed, there's like zero nuance in that take. You just want to be able to essentially be a never get hit Spider-Man.
No, no one is saying that. No one is saying that. That's such a straw man. No one is saying you don't want Peter to get hit. What we're saying is Peter should be a lot better at this point because this is 10 years into his career.
Anytime he takes a hit, you lose your fucking mind. No, I know people love to say how amazing Peter was in the first game. And you know,
yes, because he was.
You're not wrong. However,
he was still a hit.
He loses his mentor. The one person who Peter...
What does that have to do with... What does that have to do with anything?
Felt close to aside from his aunt and MJ. He has to beat his ass because he lost his octopus punch in mind.
Okay, what does that have to do with him being nerfed?
This scene where Harry brings up Otto.
Hey,
what does that have to do with him being nerfed? Oh, you mean he was still able to beat Otto? Did he not like push the Otto's blade into his shoulder in order to like destroy his neural interface? And he still got up and beat his ass? And you're telling me he gets one-shotted by Kraven's knife? Okay, buddy.
read about your old boss, Dr. Octavius. That must have been crazy.
Peter plays it off, but I know this still bothers Peter because Peter isn't a sociopath. You know, he cared for Otto. He loved Otto. He loved and respected his mind, and he even tells him that. Peter never wanted to burden others intentionally, keeps it under wraps, and says,
"That's one way to put it, yeah."
Anyway, at this point in the
what
game,
does that have to do
Harry
with being
brings
being
us to the
nerfed?
gym. And honestly, dude, I'd stop being Spider-Man too if I was Peter, because this motherfucker can shoot.
Lots happened in the last 10 years.
Have any of you saying Peter was nerfed ever done anything for 10 years straight and still had the same enthusiasm as year one?
Wait, what? What's happening?
Because this motherfucking Spider-Man for 10 years. 10 whole years. But no, Peter has been Spider-Man for 10 years. 10 whole years.
Yes, he has been. Okay, what is he gonna say?
Lots happened in the last 10 years.
Have any of you saying Peter was nerfed ever done anything for 10 years straight and still had the same enthusiasm as year one? No.
What do we have to do with anything?
Oh, because you're not a robot? Oh, okay. And still had the same enthusiasm as year one?
What? What's that? I don't know. What is this? What is he talking about? I'm seriously freaking lost here.
Was nerfed ever done anything for 10 years straight and still had the same enthusiasm as year one?
Maybe. So, because he has been Spider-Man for 10 years, what is he saying? Is he saying that because Peter has been Spider-Man for 10 years, that he should, that he is no longer enthusiastic about being Spider-Man, despite the fact that he chose to be Spider-Man because he felt this is his responsibility? Isn't that the whole point of him being Spider-Man? Once again, him taking a break isn't something new.
No, because you're not a robot? Oh, okay. Almost immediately after this scene, we see Miles. Now, a plot point that kind of went nowhere but still has some story implications is that Miles is writing his college entrance essay.
Oh no, he's writing his essay. What an epic story for freaking Miles.
You see him sitting in his room, trying to finish it, and he's clearly bored. He'd rather be doing anything else. Suddenly, Peter calls him. Before he gets a word in, Miles says,
"I need whatever it is, I'm down."
At this point in the game, Peter has shown no real enthusiasm for being Spider-Man. It's mostly been moans.
He shows no enthusiasm. What? What do you get? What? Hold on.
At this point in the game, Peter has shown no real enthusiasm for being Spider-Man.
Where are you getting that from?
It's mostly been moans and groans about it, but
no.
Miles is still new.
He literally says later on in the game that he wants to protect the people. When he wears the black suit later on, he literally says that he wants to protect his people real bad. Why would he groan and freaking sigh over being Spider-Man?
Enthusiastic, excited.
His whole thing of him wearing the suit is because he wants to protect his loved ones.
See, this plays into a much bigger issue that I have with people saying Miles felt so much stronger than Peter. Well, I'll be touching on Miles.
Okay. I'm so
and why it seems that way on the surface. But real quick, Miles was fueled by anger, by vengeance.
Oh my god, he was angry!
And by wanting to not be Miles. The inverse of Peter not truly wanting to be Spider-Man for a bit. There's a handful of times where Peter has this much zeal, and we'll touch on that later.
Later on in the game, literally, Peter, when they both wore the terrible suits, Miles was the one to tell Peter about to like give him freaking therapy sessions, and it's not the other way around. Like, are you kidding me? No, it's Peter. Miles isn't the one who's buffed in this game, even despite the fact that he's the one to like give freaking therapy sessions to Peter.
Don't give me that look, Pops. I'm only taking a break.
At the raft, the mission Peter tells Miles about, we get a glimpse at Miles and the journey he's taking. Again, I'll touch on this several times.
I swear to God, if you start talking about freaking Miles' arc in this game,
and honestly, I don't know if you're capable of doing that right now. But at the
stop insulting your audience.
Martin Lee was there. Miles gets set the f off. Bro is like the epitome of the Arthur Bald Fist meme, and he wants to put.
Yeah, you guys are like so bad because you guys don't actually pay attention to the story because you don't have a brain. You're 6-year-olds because like what is this? Like how is this video gonna convince people that Peter is a nerf if you're just gonna freaking insult everyone like that?
Put that fist inside Lee. Yes, Daddy. Miles here is low-key a little Batman in year one. Angry, vengeful. In fact, he's almost like the best iteration of Peter from Amazing Spider-Man 1 before he truly becomes
the best iteration of Peter.
becomes the peaceful Spider-Man that Miles is. And now, yes, he was that in his own game, but bro, people in real life and fiction have arcs, relapses, setbacks, triumphs. This is the exaggerated anger of a YS.
Miles.
What did he just say?
Lapses. And now, yes, he was that in his own game, but bro, people in real life and fiction have arcs, relapses.
Oh, arcs! You're literally saying that Miles has an arc? If he learned that already in the first game, why does he have to learn the same thing again in the second game?
Setback.
It's as if Insomniac had no idea what to do with these characters after the first games.
Triumphs. This is the exaggerated anger of a YS.
He's angry.
Miles.
He's angry at Martin Lee, but this never actually goes anywhere throughout the whole story because he constantly has like second thoughts. He's like maybe like if this was like the whole conflict in the game where he like does push his friends away and everything, then it would have been fine. But here in the game, he constantly flip-flops the whole time. He's like, I should stop. And I want to hurt, and I don't want to go after Lee. No, I shouldn't. I should help people. This is my job and everything. Like he does that, and like even like maybe I do want to hurt him, but no, I should. Like, he's literally Kylo Ren. He basically is Kylo Ren at this point. This isn't Miles Morales. This is freaking Ben freaking Ben Solo, whatever.
Fine. I'll be okay.
Now this scene.
I'll be okay. Later on, he lets a bunch of people almost die, and Peter just goes, "Oh, don't worry, Miles. Everything's gonna be fine."
It's probably one of my favorite Insomniac Miles scenes. Here we see Spider-Man catching up to Lee in the raft.
Yeah, he says not like this, and he still wants to help him. Like, what is that? That just shows he's emotionally stronger than Peter.
Point, Lee is drowning and Spider-Man just looks over him. He wants Lee to die here. He doesn't want to help him. Miles is
He did though.
With this like personal vendetta as Miles and his moral duty as Spider-Man. This is fueled by anger, and because of this anger, Miles does some pretty reckless shit later in this mission, which in turn can be seen as Miles being stronger than Peter. But look at what it's caused by: anger. It's not pure strength. When you
he still doesn't want to. He still wants to help him in the scene. What the hell?
Have no moral compass. Anger and hate can outweigh care, caution, and discipline. In the struggle to take leave from Kraven's people, Spider-Man has to let go in order to save people. And although he's let go, he saves.
And then Peter, like, you're saying Peter is not nerfed in this, but look at this scene. He's hanging on all of those people instead of webbing them up so they don't continue to fall, and punch the freaking the propeller himself. You're saying he's not nerfed, but you're showing me this scene where he's clearly nerfed. And he had to call, and he literally calls for Miles for help. He literally calls Miles here for help, despite the fact that this is something that he is able to do, because he's done so much on his own in his own game. He was quick on his feet and everything, and now this game is telling me Peter can't do it. He needs to call Miles.
A reckless way here. Even when I played this the first time back in 2023, I felt like the method he chose was extremely dangerous and that there was totally better ways to deal with this propeller. But that's anger for you. That's Spider-Man being completely without rational thought here, directing his—
That's Spider-Man. He does irrational thinking, guys.
Anger at Lee at this propeller. Miles isn't buffed.
What? He puts his anger in Lee into...
He's angry and barely in control here.
He's not buffed, he's angry and barely in control here, despite the fact that throughout the entire game, he constantly has second thoughts and doesn't want to hurt Lee, and nothing happens, and nothing even comes from that, and he gets over it all by himself, while Peter needs freaking help from Miles to get over the freaking black suit, despite the fact Miles is able to get over his freaking worries on his own, and Peter doesn't. Peter isn't nerfed, guys.
Which is Miles' arc, or part of it at least. But you didn't pay attention because he's not Peter, huh?
Yeah, I didn't pay attention because he's not Peter. He's Miles, guys.
I wonder why. Now we got—
I wonder why. What do you mean I wonder why? You're the—
arc, or part of it at least. But you didn't pay attention because he's not Peter, huh?
I didn't pay attention because he destroyed the propeller, guys. He destroyed the propeller, and I didn't pay attention.
I wonder why. Now we got—
I wonder why.
Touch on the scene where Spider-Man—
I swear to God, if he's implying what I think he's implying,
meets Uncle Aaron. Now you may all be distracted by how awful this beat sounded, but I believe this scene is one of the best in this game.
I'm just—
It really serves to convey this message.
No, my issue with this scene is that Miles takes off his freaking mask.
This is Miles' Aunt May moment, telling him he needs balance, to focus on what's important. Now I'll go by this scene for scene.
We really gotta do this with the mask on?
Here, we see Aaron wants to talk to Miles, not Spider-Man, which
I'm sorry, if Aaron wanted to talk to Miles, it would be in like a dark alley or something where people can't see him. This is out in the open where people can see him and he's not wearing his mask. Like, are you kidding me?
It's just more reiteration that these two identities are indeed separate.
Your dad used to give me that exact same look.
Spider-Man's dad was a hero for Miles, probably even before he looked up to Peter's Spider-Man. He was an ordinary man with an extraordinary mindset. A hero is just someone who doesn't give up, he said. Spider-Man wants to be like Spider-Man, but Miles wants to be like his father. That's why Aaron can recognize his brother in Miles. It's not just the look, but the attitude towards someone like Aaron. Miles is neglecting his real life, aka his Miles side, to be Spider-Man.
He's not neglecting his Miles side to be Spider-Man. So what's the point of this game?
In a way, this may be to avoid dealing with the death of his father, instead choosing to track down his killer, which in some ways for Miles is easier to do than deal with his own emotions.
Kid?
It's just a lot at this point. I don't know what to do.
Martin Lee. Someone got him out.
I know what you're thinking, Miles. This is not on you. We can't let him live up here. It's just another kind of prison.
It's not that easy.
Never said it was.
Exactly. He's pushing those emotions away because it's difficult for him.
He does nothing with Lee throughout the game. At the last minute, he doesn't even want to hurt him. He goes through nothing in the game.
And Aaron recognizes it. Miles is stuck. And honestly, again, Miles is like Batman here. I know you dipshits understand Batman's character. Wonder why that is.
But sometimes you...
What is that? What are you talking about? Why are we... What?
Gotta push the past away?
At least Batman isn't some emotional wimp. And always goes back up and does his freaking job. Unlike Peter. At least he doesn't actually get his emotions for the doesn't like, you know. Oh wait, at least Batman does stuff.
So you can make room for the future.
And see here, this isn't necessarily about balance, but about moving on, even if it hurts you. One thing I love about the Aunt May's and Uncle Ben's and Miles' story here.
Didn't he already go through this in his Didn't he already go through this in his own game? Like, I'm confused here.
As how they're along the same line of thinking, but different enough to teach you certain things. Miles, as much as it hurts him, needs to continue living as Miles. He can have the excitement for being Spider-Man, but even then, he'll need to find the balance. As I said in my last Spider-Man video, in Spider-Man 3...
He doesn't go... I'm sorry, that's not true. He doesn't go through balance. I'm sorry. He gets to be Spider-Man even more at the end of the game, and Peter takes a break from being Spider-Man. How is that him living? How is that him learning to live as Miles if he gets to be Spider-Man even more at the end of the game? What does that have to do with anything? That completely goes against what you're saying here.
3, I think Miles will start to understand why Peter is the way he is in this game. I think he'll understand his tiredness. The same tiredness you confuse as being nerfed.
Oh my god. Why? I'm sorry. I really want him to explain what he means when he says that Peter is tired.
Anyway, let's hop back over to Peter.
Seriously, how freaking lame is Insomniac Spider-Man that we have to make him tired? Because apparently he can't balance his own life. I'm sorry. With great power comes great responsibilities, right? This is the thing. This is like his main motivation, right? Yet apparently he's tired, guys, and he should stop being Spider-Man or take a break from being Spider-Man.
Peter, sometime after you switch to him, gets this interaction.
Because apparently we need an entire game just so he takes breaks from being Spider-Man. Even though in the first game he already learned that to take a break
with MJ.
Hey, what's up?
Just wanted to let you know that I talked to Gloria, and Feast is gonna send a donation truck to the house tomorrow for the rest of May's stuff.
I don't think I'll be able to go through everything by then. Could you cancel that? I promise I'll donate it all myself as soon as I'm finished with everything.
I'll call him right now. But don't push yourself too hard, Parker. I'm serious.
Showing he is still grieving Aunt May. He can't even...
Why is he still... He's still grieving Aunt May after 2 years. He lost his freaking uncle. He lost his uncle, and he moved on from it, and he's Spider-Man, and he's emotionally strong, and he constantly saw people like getting hurt left and right, but for some reason he's still apparently Aunt May's death is what nerfs him, I guess.
Even bear to donate her stuff because it's simply too soon for him. I'm sure someone you've known has passed, and maybe you've been in charge of going through their things.
Are we forgetting that in the Miles game, he was literally ready to come back and help being Spider-Man again? He took a break from being Spider-Man to go to Europe with MJ, and as soon as he heard that there was something going on, he called Miles and wanted to come back as soon as possible.
But regardless, it's an incredibly hard process for anyone who cares about.
But apparently, in this game, he's nerfed.
The deceased, and I can't help
he's
but think
tired,
that one
guys.
or two things, or even both, are happening. One, you have no empathy, and or two,
you are so. I'm sorry. I want to restrain myself from like insulting him back because this is just because I don't want to like you know, stoop to his level. But come on. You can't just assume people, they lack empathy and everything. We are not talking about him being sad about May's death. We're talking about him getting nerfed throughout the entire game because the game.
Pay attention to what Peter is saying. And
I'm not paying attention.
We also get a bit of male yearning when Peter says,
Hey, you know I'd much rather be curled up next to you with the latest physics journal right now. Especially that French one.
Sometimes you're just too romantic.
Showing how much he genuinely wants to be with MJ as just Peter, not Spider-Man, but Peter.
And how does how is that balanced?
So let's cut to Peter and the first time we head to Emily May. So we're here because Harry is trying to convince Peter to join on. But I truly believe that Peter decided that he was going to join as soon as he walked in that door. And I think this goes to speak on the trust that Peter gave Harry. Because if Harry approved, Peter was right there with him. And that's just kind of the nature of their relationship. They're best friends, you know? And we'll touch on that later. But anyway, let's touch on Harry. No, I believe that Harry, along with Miles, are Peter's biggest foils in this game.
I don't want to...
Miles representing Peter's Spider-Man side, and Harry representing Peter's Peter side, I guess. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. But
no, I really don't know what you're trying to say. And clearly you don't seem to know what you're trying to say.
More on this later. But we see here as Peter is walking with Harry, Miles...
How is he like Peter?
This is like constantly texting him about Spider-Man stuff, and Peter is kind of blowing him off. Shut up. And I think this is showing us that Peter is trying to focus on being Peter.
He said call you in a bit.
Wow.
Showing the whole scene again. Guys, he's sad about May still.
Man.
Apparently, that makes he's tired.
This is all so amazing. It's perfect, really. It's just... Things are really hectic right now.
With what? Literally, with what? I can't take this. I can't take the job, despite the fact I'm struggling with money. Like, is it like, if this is gonna say that it's like, it's because he's too busy being Spider-Man and everything. Later on in the game, it's been resolved. Harry is fine with him being Spider-Man, and he gets to keep the job in Emily May. Like, what's the issue? What's the arc? What's the struggle here? Nothing happens.
When I was in treatment, all I could think about was, what would I do if I survived? And I kept hearing my mom's voice, telling me that our planet is in trouble, and it's my responsibility to save it.
Yes, it's responsibility, right? Which is why Peter takes a break at the end of the game.
If you join me, there's so much more that we can do. I mean, we both know you're the smarter one.
Yeah, seriously.
Come on. Let's
What?
my mom.
What does that have to do with anything?
Face the wall when I work.
What does that? Okay, explain. What does that have to do with anything?
So now that we touched on my favorite Miles scene, I want to talk about my favorite Peter scene. On my first playthrough, this scene stuck out to me, and I'm not really entirely sure why.
Gonna miss these chases when I'm in Emily May. The adrenaline, going through the city like it's an obstacle course, never gets old.
He literally says he's gonna miss it.
Getting to do real science though, actual money. Oh my god, I finally did it. I have a stable career.
Wait, is he saying he wants to stop being Spider-Man when he says, I'm gonna miss these chases? So what's the what? So he was thinking of taking a break from being Spider-Man? So he was gonna quit being Spider-Man? I'm so confused. What is happening here?
Okay, cool it, Parker. Daydream about those fat science stacks later.
What does that have to do with balance?
Time to chase.
Maybe it's the energy in which he talks about wanting to be just Peter with a career, because you know that energy wasn't really seen anywhere in regards to being Spider-Man. And like I said earlier, Spider-Man is like the everyman of superheroes. And for me, getting a bit personal here, I was 25 when this game came out. I was living in an apartment with an ex, and I had just lost my job around this time as well. I felt like shit for not
dude, I don't care.
being able to support,
I don't care about
or even just carry my own weight. And that's the thing with Spider-Man. He's supposed to represent the everyman, like I said.
Dude, I don't care about your freaking life story. Like not to be rude or anything, but yours freaking story has nothing to do with the freaking writing of the game.
He's not meant to be someone you just look up to, but someone you relate to. Another.
Oh, I lost a job, and Spider-Man lost a job. We could, so that means he's not nerfed.
A close contender for my favorite Spider-Man scene isn't even really a cutscene. It's a quip made to an unnamed Craven guard. I believe that when he's listing his fears here, he's actually just listing his fears here. And then it gets too real for him and he says clowns.
Listen, this would go a lot easier for everyone if someone...
Wait, a freaking Craven goon is scared?
Craven hunts what man fears most. That's all you need to know.
Oh, so he's hunting failure? Intimacy? Clowns! It's clowns, isn't it? Good riddance, I say.
I feel like if...
What? I'm sorry, I need to hear that again. I have no idea what he's talking
So
about.
now that this talks about wanting to be just Peter with a can. And like I said here, I was 25 when this game felt like shit for not everyman, like I said. He scene isn't even really a cutscene. Someone you relate to. Another close contender for my favorite Spider-Man scene isn't even really a cutscene. It's a quip made to an unnamed Craven guard. I believe that when he's listing his fears here, he's actually just listing his fears here. And then it gets too real for him and he says clowns.
Wait, he is Peter is listing his fears.
Craven hunts what man fears most. That's all you need to know.
I think you're just over-analyzing something again.
So he's hunting failure? Intimacy? Clowns! It's clowns, isn't it? Good riddance.
So he fears of being a
I
failure.
feel like if you see the line as a throwaway, Peter tricked you as well. See, as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will because you're Spider-Man fans, but isn't
Again, with just insulting people.
Peter's quipping just a way to deal with his own anxieties? And I know it's more so about fear, but people who use humor as a way to mask emotions and insecurities are very, very real. I think this is...
Once again, you're acting as if we don't know all of you're acting as if we don't know who Spider-Man is. You're acting as if we don't know who Spider-Man is. When people say that Peter is nerfed in this game, it's because he constantly gets beaten up by things. He constantly gets beaten up by things. He constantly needs Miles to help him. He's very emotionally unstable for some reason. Like, these are all things that Peter should have learned in the first game. He has been on this job for 10 years. He should be better at his job as Spider-Man.
Is a blink and miss comment, you know, especially if you have no real social skills.
Again, with just insulting people. What is this? You're legit just making me angry, boy.
You later on in this mission,
like, what is this? Why are you insulting people?
We're shown the climax in the game, at least one of them. And if you don't know that something can have multiple climaxes, you ain't never been with a woman. Anyway, this is where Craven kills Scorpion. And listen, if I'm Spider-Man and some random foreign dude just starts killing my ops and I'm on the list too, dog, I want to be in the house too. What the No, that'd probably be my tipping point as well. But Spider-Man is Spider-Man. No matter who has the mask, they all have this moral obligation to fight crime, even if it kills them. But in the meantime, let's check on Miles. Here, we see Miles working on his essay, and it says, "Who I am doesn't matter. What matters is protecting the people that I love." And on paper, this sounds nice and all, but low-key, if I was at college, I wouldn't accept, bro. This sounds like some serial killer shit. It sounds like some manifesto shit. Listen, I know it's not how it's meant to be taken, but I don't know, man. Listen, anyway, after this
What?
shot, we see a scene of him seeing Lee and how he's on the loose now. We see some of that YS rage for a bit until his mom bursts in on him. In the middle of the conversation, he gets a text from Peter saying to suit up. He immediately leaves. His mom looks on in work.
He leaves while he leaves without the suit and just and whips and whips all the way up. Like what?
As he runs out the window. I think again, all this serves to show that Miles is angry and laser focused on getting revenge. And
it's to show that Miles is angry. He's not focusing. He's being irrational. He made a
still has
mistake.
life in his Spider-Man.
I'm so tired of this argument.
Which Peter kind of lacks here, making it seem like Miles is stronger. But I assure you, that's not the case.
Thanks for offering to do this. We can get kind of blindsided by Felicia. I know you're busy with your college essay.
It's cool. I always have time to Spider-Man.
Sounds like you're as good at work-life balance as I am.
Now, we talked about one of my most favorite things about this game. Let's talk about my least favorite thing about this game. And while it's my least favorite mission in this whole game, it's still important for
Bro, can you talk about Peter and stop talking about Miles?
Why Miles seems so much stronger. Once Miles goes into this Mysterium, he's told to think about his future, to focus on his hopes and dreams.
As you look at these images,
He literally risks his identity going in there with Mysterio gathering data.
I want you to think about your future, your hopes and your dreams. Ah, yes. I'm getting good data.
He's getting good data.
And we're done.
Once the simulation is done, we're thrown into like the lamest mission ever with some lame ass knockoff rock band, and that's it just sucks. I'm sorry, but okay. So Miles wants to do music for an audience, right? Normal black teen behavior, sure. But then the simulation switches to another fixation of Miles, beating Martin Lee's ass. And you know, I genuinely think it's hilarious that the black teen wants to make beats and beat someone's ass. That's crazy. What do they mean?
What do you mean by that?
And again, there's parallels here between Miles and Spider-Man, with the music side representing Miles and Martin representing Spider-Man. He, while split between two sides, really still wants to kill Lee.
He doesn't want to kill Lee. He doesn't want. Throughout the entire game, he constantly has second thoughts about killing Lee. He does not want to kill Lee in the game. Nothing. He doesn't struggle with that at all.
Anger. He quite literally throws music, aka Miles Morales, to the side to kill Lee. This mission sucks, but I'd be lying if I said it's not a decent way to show the struggle within Miles. They even show a text.
What's the point of this scene if we already? I'm sorry. What's the point of this if we already know that Miles is angry and wants to hurt Lee? We already were shown this like previously. Why do we need the same thing again? You don't understand, guys. It's a metaphor. It's because it's a symbolism. It's that Miles wants to be Miles and that Martin Lee wants to be Miles. Martin Lee is Spider-Man. He wants to kill. Okay, cool. So let's show that same thing like 10 million freaking times.
Text exchange between Miles and Haley. Miles has to essentially bail on her, drawing parallels to how MJ and Peter's relationship works sometimes. You know, because of them having to be Spider-Man. But in the meantime, let's switch over to Peter.
Actually, that thing back there really messed me.
He also leaves. He also decides to leave without warning Mysterio, without having to suit up and warning Mysterio that Craven is going after bad guys. He doesn't warn him about that. Like, despite the fact that the whole point they were there is to learn about learn if they were going after Mysterio. Like, even if they don't, like, at least warn him. He could be a target.
Right up. Can we dip? Okay.
And he decides to just leave.
Nice meeting you, Harry.
Yeah, you too.
So now we arrive at Coney Island. There's many instances that prove how Peter was simply tired and ready for a break. So bear with me. Yo, real quick, cause that was like...
He's tired and ready for a break. So he goes to a carnival to have a good time. Remember, guys, once again, he took a break in Miles Morales. It's not something new for him. Like, come on.
In these clips, I sat on a bench with MJ and essentially told Harry to f off for a bit, and bro was just deaf staring at us both. Oh my god. But real quick, I want to mention something. Before, I said how Miles and Harry represent two different sides of Peter, you know, that being Spider-Man and, well, Peter. I thought the shot here was very interesting and maybe could serve as a bit of visual storytelling, you know, Peter being in the middle and Harry and Miles being on opposite ends.
Oh my god, I don't care.
I don't know. Thought it was interesting to mention.
You are reaching throughout the entire video.
Get to a point in the Coney Island run where Peter and MJ are like testing their love. And now when I first played it, I chalked it up to just the carnival game being a carnival game, you know, but the signs are there to prove that their relationship is still pretty rocky, at least from MJ's side. And we see more of that when she transforms into Scream. As they're playing the love testing game though, MJ asks,
"What does this thing know about us?"
Peter asks,
"Maybe that you should move in with me?"
What? Weren't they planning to move in together in the first game? What happened?
Then MJ says,
Or maybe that everything's too up in the air to think about it yet?
But you wanted to move on with him real badly in the first game. What happened? My brain. I need some freaking brain cleansers right now. Holy moly, I don't understand what the heck happened. They don't...
Yeah, maybe.
At this point, the meter goes directly to dead in the water. Now, I don't think that it means that their relationship is completely dead, per
it's a metaphor because this freaking machine suddenly is...
say, but it's...
No, mate, MJ's entire arc in this game is that she can't quit the job that she doesn't like. Like, seriously. What kind of arc is that?
It's not as peachy as it seems.
The relationship is rocky because MJ can't quit a job that she doesn't like, and Peter, for some reason, can't find a job. Riveting.
On the surface, MJ still has hang-ups about who Peter is and what he's capable of being at this point. Again,
after 10 years, apparently, she doesn't know who Peter is.
And we'll touch more on that later, but it's apparent that Peter isn't there responsible, and he can't be as Spider-Man. He's lost his job, he's in debt, and I'm sure he's got EMF to fall back on, but I'm sure MJ is just waiting.
I mean, he has a job. He has a job at the Emily May Foundation, and for some reason you're telling me he doesn't have a job and he can't pay for anything.
For that to fall through as well. And speaking of, we get a scene that's easily overlooked, the Hydra game. Now here we play a game of whack-a-mole. MJ's just going ham for no reason, but as they're walking away, Harry asks,
"So, whose face were you picturing on the moles?"
Oh, he's pictured Peter's face? So,
it was totally Jonah's, wasn't it?
Then MJ says this.
Only one more and that prize is ours.
Now notice she didn't even answer. She's taking any chance she can to shit on J. Jonah Jameson, but she just doesn't here. I genuinely think that she was picturing Peter's face. Getting her...
What? She was picturing Peter? What does Peter have to do with anything? MJ's whole story is that she can't quit her job because Jonah is an a-hole. I'm sorry, but if this is supposed to be like some like deep arc for MJ that she can't quit her job, like I'm sorry, but this is like the lamest MJ freaking story I've ever seen. Why doesn't she quit her job and look for another one? Work at the Daily Globe. If you don't like working for Jonah, you're a well-known reporter. I'm pretty sure she's able to find a job somewhere else. This is stupid. This is really stupid.
Her frustrations out on his incompetence as a partner. Now, admittedly,
he's incompetent as a partner. Yeah, he is incompetent as a partner for some reason because the game nerfed him.
I might be reading too much into that, but that's what I believe is happening here.
I'm sorry, but the first game resolved their whole relationship because you know, because Peter didn't feel like he could rely on his friends, and MJ was like constantly messing things up for Peter, and they made up at the end, and they decided to move in together. That was already resolved in the first game, and now in this game, it's just because one for some reason can't find a job, and the other can't quit her job. Like, this is so lame.
It's good to be back, Pete. Can I ask you something? Being gone, I've missed a lot. You just lost your job, MJ's got work woes. Are you both okay?
Yeah, we're okay. Everything's great. I mean, especially with EMF, we're gonna change the world.
Yeah, so he has a job, so what's the problem? He literally has a job.
Yeah.
Notice Peter's hesitation and fake enthusiasm here. Also, listen to
because it makes no sense.
This exchange between Peter and MJ on the roller coaster.
Being Peter is nice. I think we could both use more nights like this.
Yeah.
Again, he's not talked about being Spider-Man with this much excitement.
Being Peter is nice. Apparently, he forgot how to be Peter Parker ever since this game, because apparently, in the previous game, he wasn't Peter Parker at all. Apparently, despite the fact he did have a job and like did things.
Man, this whole game, but that being Peter is nice, and they agree that they both need more nights like this. And this scene proves he's just tired with it all. Notice the tone of his voice; it's just so monotone.
It's so nice to just wander around, people watch. I honestly.
I'm so like I can't believe this is the arc in this. I can't believe this is Peter's arc, that he has to take a break.
And we let ourselves relax for a night.
Seems like it's been forever. Stuff just always gets in the way.
Man, Pete, you must have had one packed tutoring schedule.
Yeah, so.
You two have always had your noses to the grindstone.
Okay, buddy. Harry accepts later on that Peter is Spider-Man and everything is fine. There's nothing. There is no actual struggle with their job, with Peter's job at this point. He accepts that Peter is Spider-Man and everything is fine.
You gotta stop and smell the roses.
Next, we get to my personal favorite part of the Coney Island missions. This scene is self-explanatory, but just watch this.
Apparently, yeah. I did understand this in my video, because I was thinking to myself, how come MJ's story seemed far more interesting than Jonah's story, because she was actually expanding on Craven and the hunters and everything. Wouldn't Jonah still pick that story? Even yeah, okay, I get it. Jonah hates Spider-Man, I guess, but doesn't MJ expand on the story with the hunters? Because all the article says is that Spider-Man failed to stop the bad guys. But come on, is that really worth firing MJ now?
Did Jonah put you on the front page? Oh, you're gonna be an editor. I should have brought champagne.
If you hate Jonah so much, quit your job.
Hunters and scorpions and explosions. Oh my.
Oh no.
Jonah posted the new guy story.
Oh no, Jonah.
MJ.
Oh, Jonah. Why?
It only has 5,000 views.
Jonah, why? No.
I've got to write a different kind of story.
No, Jonah, why? I don't
mistrust.
want to leave my job. I need my job, bro. My paycheck, bro.
Something. You always do.
Thanks.
Sure.
You always do. This is why I'm gonna freaking lie about Peter later on in the game, just to get Jonah's front page, bro.
And hey, if you need some help from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, I'd say we make a hell of a team too. Even if I do forget the champagne.
Next time.
Showing the whole scene again.
Really, look how fucking happy Peter looks here. The comic writers are probably angry as shit right now and writing fan fiction that includes Paul somehow, but he's happy here, and I don't know how you guys don't see that. However,
what does that have to do with him being nerfed?
It seems a writer or two did sneak in because this romantic moment.
There's no way you're gonna freaking defend this scene
is cut
of him not being able to lift up the freaking Ferris wheel or whatever, and can't pull up 2 cards. You're not gonna defend this.
Squad rolls in. Here we get Peter saying this.
One night off. That's all I wanted. But no.
One night off is all I wanted. Does that sound like a Spider-Man that wants to keep doing this right now?
You're not gonna sit there and tell me he never had a night off. You're not gonna sit there and tell me Peter never had a night off. Especially when in Miles Morales, he especially went to Europe and took a break from being Spider-Man. You're not gonna sit there and tell me he never had a night off.
He sounds like
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, I'm too old. I'm only 25.
Yeah, man, I think the Coney Island mission is a bit of a mini climax in that it really
Also, he does not call Miles for help, despite the fact that they could have been going after Mysterio as well.
hammers home how Peter just wants to be Peter. And not necessarily permanently, but he needs a hiatus for sure, and he knows that. By this point in the game,
he needs a hiatus to help, but he doesn't call Miles for help to fight off the goons.
Finally introduced to the symbiote. No,
you're gonna completely skip that scene. He's gonna completely skip that scene. Okay, so the reason Peter is nerfed in this game is because he is for some reason not able to lift up those two train carts that like the people are stuck in, and then the Ferris wheel falls on him and he's unable to lift that up, despite the fact that he has the metal arms and he can help it. Like he doesn't even need the metal arms. He's strong enough to lift that thing up and pull the people up. But for some reason he's unable to do it. But even if we say that he's unable to do it with his normal strength, he has the metal arms, which for some reason he just does not use to lift to help him lift up the train carts and stop the thing from falling on them. After Harry arrives, he lifts the train carts with no effort and takes the people out, as if his power level was acting inconsistent in this scene.
I said before that I didn't necessarily enjoy how they did the symbiote storyline in this, and that it felt kind of rushed, but at the same time, I appreciate what they're trying to do, and have been setting up this whole entire
look at this! He lifts them up effortlessly! He could do this before!
game. It's been said
he could have done this the whole time!
Before that the symbiote is almost akin to a drug addiction, and if we frame it that way, I feel as though Peter's arc in this game makes so much more sense. I feel as though this suit, when he has it, it's like his crutch.
Which is why he gets the anti-suit that removes all the negative effects and still and gets to keep all the freaking drugs.
He feels on top of the world, you know, he feels he's a better Spider-Man, a better hero, but it's costing him his friendships and relationship with MJ. He's just leaning more and more into being quote-unquote Spider-Man, but we'll touch on that later. But for now, Harry has a symbiote, which brings us to one of the coolest missions in the game, the one where Peter and Harry attempt to save Tombstone.
He literally did not address the Ferris wheel scene. He literally did not address the roller coaster scene. Peter, like, I'm pretty sure when people say he's nerfed, they were gonna bring up this scene.
In one of the scenes in the beginning, we see Harry and Peter fighting random thugs, and the two banter about what it takes to be a hero. Harry, the newbie, has enthusiasm. Peter keeps trying to bring him back down to
yeah, but no one is saying anything. I don't know if anyone is saying anything about
reality,
this.
Though.
Never felt so strong. Don't let it get to your head. We're not invincible.
Again, Peter, and we know this, he isn't invulnerable. He's not. And he's saying that for himself here. He's speaking about himself as well, not just the both of them. But
no, yeah.
Moving on a bit,
obviously.
Just to compare the enthusiasm levels again. We have Harry rushing into battle here. He's full of life and excitement, and Peter just goes,
here we go again.
I really do feel like a broken record here, but I'd rather that than feel like I played this game and didn't pick up any of what Insomniac.
I'm sorry. He says that because Harry decided to rush in despite the fact that Peter wanted to go stealth and not do this whole thing. Harry was being completely reckless and filled this whole place up with lava. And what does Peter do later on? He says, "Oh, you were messing things up, but in the best possible way." So he like literally praises Harry for acting irrational. For acting so reckless in this, despite the fact that the Spider-Man that is supposed to be experienced, he should tell his friends not to be this reckless the next time. Like he's making things even harder for himself, basically.
Insomniac was trying to portray. Feels familiar, doesn't it? Anyway, let's skip forward to a point that also gets brought up when people say Peter was nerfed. Peter getting
oh no, you're not gonna defend this.
Stabbed and killed by Kraven in the zoo. People claim that Peter should have been able to like stop or at least detect that he was about to be stabbed. But like,
yes,
you guys know that Kraven isn't a regular human.
I don't care if he's a regular human. He should not close his distance with Kraven. He knows how strong Kraven is because he literally saw that the scorpion stinger did not affect him, and he killed him. He knows how strong he is. Why does he rush in and kill him? Why does he rush in? Why does he rush in and just go for the punch? Why would he do that? Like, is he stupid? Is Peter actually stupid? Like, he's such an idiot in this game. He's such an idiot. Like, this is so stupid.
Right? Kraven is literally a superhuman. I mean, yeah, he can obviously be killed, but the potions you find in this game are the ones that he uses to...
He gets killed by a knife despite... Look, mate, he fought the Sinister Six with 14 broken bones in the first game. He dodges bullets, he dodges lightning strikes, he still gets up on his feet and beats everyone up. And here, he grabs his fist and then stabs him. And that kills him, apparently. Like, if it's so easy to kill... Wait, I'm pretty sure Rhino is also like really strong. I guess Rhino. All Rhino needed is a knife. All he needed was a knife. He should have just grabbed Spider-Man's fist and just stabbed him. Apparently, if it's that easy to kill Spider-Man like that, especially when he has been Spider-Man for 10 years, then he should have been. If it's that easy to kill Spider-Man like that, then he should have been dead already. Oh, I'm sorry. He's tired, of course.
The potions enhance his physical.
The reason is he's tired.
Physical prowess, and yes, that includes strength. And yeah, Peter can be all types of badass, but like Kraven isn't a pushover here. He kills Peter's ops extremely easily. It even talks shit in the process.
This one was a waste of my precious remaining time. Weak of body and mind.
Because they nerfed Peter.
Perhaps this technology will be of use.
You're telling me it was so hard for you to believe that Peter got stabbed? Dude.
Whoa, hold on.
In a pushover here. He kills Peter's ops extremely easily. It even talks shit in the process.
This one.
Telling me it was so hard for you to believe that Peter got stabbed? Dude.
Yes! Because he took on foes. He took on the Sinister Six with 14 broken bones. Of course, it's unbelievable for me to think that Peter easily gets killed by a knife.
Dude, in the comics, he gets buried alive by Kraven. Was he nerfed in too?
Oh, I don't know what happens in the comics. I don't care. I'm talking about what happened in the game.
Or was it like a story?
If Spider-Man, okay, it could be. Stop always using the comics. First of all, and second of all, it could be that the comic is also poorly written. It could be. It can be. Like it's a possibility. I'm not gonna suddenly be like, oh, it happened in the comics, so it makes sense in the game. Like, this is stupid. I'm not talking about the comic because I don't care. I'm talking about this game.
Storyline that served as
we know how super strong Peter is and how experienced he is from the first game. Him getting easily killed by a knife is the worst thing I've ever seen.
How much of a badass Kraven was. Think about that, because the clues are there, I promise you. But yeah, Peter did.
It's not like Kraven outsmarted Peter or anything. He just grabbed his fist and stabbed him.
Die here. And I think Kraven killed Peter here because he caught him at a time in his life where he was either at or approaching his lowest enthusiasm in being Spider-Man. After he's stabbed, we see MJ carrying Peter, encouraging him to keep walking, to keep going. In the process, he's apologizing for everything he can't be for her.
Sorry, I was always so busy.
I'm sorry, I was trying to save the people with my spider abilities.
Don't. We're almost... Pete, talk to me.
Peter knows he's f***ing up. He knows he's not a good boyfriend, but he can't, at least in his head, stop being Spider-Man. And again, that's the cost of being Spider-Man. And I'll say again, Peter
the cost of being Spider-Man is that he dies like a wimp, okay?
Died here. This is the result of Peter's burnout. Had it not—
No, it's the point. No, it's because they nerfed him. It's because they intentionally made him weak.
Have been for Harry, aka the human side of Peter, and more importantly, the symbiote.
You constantly saying he's tired. Doesn't that help our argument with saying that he's nerfed? Because he's 25 and he's tired, guys.
Yo, Peter would have just been dead here. I feel like this symbolizes how Peter needed to save himself as Peter. But this also represents how Peter thinks he needs to be a better Spider-Man to save himself from the burnout. After getting this suit, he's out of his burnout, but for all the wrong reasons.
This freaking suit, I hate it. He gets nerfed in the black suit as well in the game.
What happened?
After waking up, Peter is rejuvenated, reborn. He awakens as like this dark phoenix, essentially, you know? One of the first things he says after waking up is,
Oh, this feels good.
alluding back to the drug reference from earlier. But with that being said, let's switch over to Miles really quick.
No, let's not. Let's not switch to Miles really quick.
Harry? Hey, you with Pete?
Hey. No. Listen, I saw you chasing that robot bird around on the news. Do you need any kind of tech support? Like, running the app or something?
Actually, I got a friend doing that already.
Gotcha. Sorry, I'm just feeling useless, and my mom would always say, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Even though she's gone, I still ask her for advice. Is that weird?
Nah, it's the same with me and my dad sometimes.
What does that have to do with Peter being nerfed?
Thanks. And good luck out there.
You too, man. Maybe some advice would be good right now.
After a call from Harry where the two open up about their respective dead parents, Miles decides to visit his father's grave for advice, to vent.
This scene is so stupid. This scene is so pointless. I can't believe, like, we switch to Miles. He chases a robot bird thing, and he goes to his father's grave, and then we switch back to Peter. Like, this whole thing was just filler.
Getting there, he goes on to say,
Maybe I should just ignore everything else and spend all my time trying to find Lee.
but then quickly says,
No.
Yeah, it's almost as if his entire arc is freaking pointless because he keeps having second thoughts about what he wants to do with Lee.
If people need help, I'm helping. And I'll find Lee.
Yeah, it's as if his entire arc is pointless.
If Pete's too
Nothing happens in the the freaking like mind things that happen. I'm pretty sure he's gonna talk about it later on. The freaking mind things that like happen to him later on when he's like fighting Lee, that like he pushed his friends away and everything. All of that stuff did not happen in the game. It didn't happen in the game. He's getting angry over like nothing.
I'm Spider-Man. I can handle everything myself.
this right here is the moment Miles becomes Heisenberg.
Heisenberg, you're goddamn right.
What?
This is the moment he truly becomes Spider-Man, in my opinion. Even though he still has that anger.
He truly becomes Spider-Man, despite the fact that he goes out of his way to only try to fight Lee, bro.
Yeah, that vengeance in him. He redirects himself to put that energy into helping his community.
It's almost as if his entire arc is pointless.
City, and that's a key component of who Spider-Man is. You know, a similar arc to
It's who Spider-Man is, right? Which is why you're fine with because Peter is tired and you want him to take a break.
Garfield, Spider-Man, and Batman. Miles wasn't set up to be better than Peter. He was set up to be Spider-Man, while Peter gets to be Peter, which is what these characters want at that moment. This is a net positive for both of them mentally, and I feel like Insomniac is telling a beautiful story here, and it's lost on some of you people who just think Peter was just nerfed. But alright.
It's because you're ignoring the freaking arguments made, because you're making some ridiculous freaking arguments that don't make any sense, and just go, oh, it's because it's the themes, guys. It's the themes of the story, which is why the story is good. It's because Insomniac was trying to tell the themes of the story, bro.
Let's switch back to Peter again. At this point,
I'm tired of these freaking arguments. It's like, oh, you didn't pay attention because the themes, guys, because the themes. It's like, we are looking at the mechanics within the story and how poorly it's executed. I don't care, like, I don't even know what the heck Insomniac's intention was. Did they want Peter to learn balance? Did they want Peter to take a break? I have no idea, because they keep switching around.
Peter is like fully entrenched with the symbiote. Peter's probably the most competent he's ever been this whole game. He's clearly the strong.
He's competent that he has ever been, which is why he gets I'm sorry, he got attacked by a goon previously at the church. he got grabbed by Kraven with the black suit as well, and for some reason struggles to get out. Here he goes after like a machine and that blows up in his face, and Miles had to warn him about him. He for some reason has no idea. He for some reason had no idea himself. You're telling me you ignored all these examples, and you're telling me he's the more competent that he's ever been.
Stronger Spider-Man, but he's almost using the same motivation as Miles: anger, vengeance. Peter again is using the symbiote as a crutch. It's helping him, Spider-Man, but it's also harming Peter, as evidenced by the shit talk that he gives Miles when he's talking to MJ, and his overall just aggressive tone when he's dealing with her.
Hey, any look at Connor's house?
No, but tracking him right now.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Meaning something.
Miles was off his game. We almost had Lizard.
I'm sure he was just trying to help.
Sometimes it's just easier to do things myself.
Hey, that's not fair, Pete. We're a team.
We just really need Connors right now. For Harry.
Okay. Let me know when you find him.
But after he finally catches up to Connor,
I'm sorry, but that's not Peter. That's the suit making him angry.
Connors discovers that the symbiote has chosen Peter, and Peter, even after realizing the symbiote is an alien, he's content with it, weirdly enough. The reason he's content with it is because Peter in the early game was tired and felt the incompetence that he was showing. But
if Peter is tired and doesn't want to be Spider-Man, then why, when he wears the black suit, does he want to be a better Spider-Man? I'm confused on what you're trying to tell me here. If he's tired of being Spider-Man and wants to take a break, then why does he want to be a better Spider-Man when he's in the black suit?
with the suit, he was everything he felt he needed to be. Would you want to give up the ability to be powerful, to feel powerful, especially after so long of feeling the opposite?
Destroy us?
Peter and his crutch, his enhancement, are now one.
MJ, I'm glad you called. How you doing?
Good. Storing some more boxes at the house. Just checked on Harry. But how are you? I saw the news about the lizard chase.
I'm great. Connors is cured. The suit's still going strong. And apparently it's called a symbiote. Oh, and it's an alien. Which is pretty nuts, right?
Wait, what? You don't sound concerned.
I'm a little concerned, but I also couldn't have stopped Connors without it.
Peter, the two of you tore through half the city. Like, did you see what you did to the museum?
Casualties happen all the time when you're in a chase, MJ.
I'm honestly surprised nobody got killed.
I'm not. And you know I had to cure him somehow. I mean, should I have just let
It was a giant lizard who was rampaging around the city. What was Peter gonna do?
keep destroying things on his own?
That's not the... I'm gonna work here for the rest of the night. My muse for a new Jonah-proof article has finally struck. Maybe I'll have something to show you if you come back later.
What's gotten into her? Must be deadline stress. Some alone time should help. So in the meantime, let's see who we can help out here.
With that being said, let's switch over to MJ real quick.
Peter, I need you to come.
Bro, why is the audio like so inconsistent? It's really loud. It's like the game audio is sometimes like really loud, and sometimes it's like average, like well balanced. Swear to God.
But no, this is one of my favorite scenes for a few reasons actually. Peter here wakes up on a bench, but ironically says he's had the best sleep of his life.
Why does it feel like I had the best sleep of my life?
He's again rejuvenated. Meanwhile, he's been wreaking havoc on the city. It also ties into the whole idea that the symbiote is
He's been wreaking havoc on the city.
Drug. Bro is literally a whole ass bum just on the street.
Spare change. Spare change, ma'am.
Oh,
We cut to
God.
one of the game's turning points, one of the few times Peter truly channels Bully Maguire.
Why don't you pop some more pills and say what you're really feeling?
Don't.
I'm busting my ass out there trying to save you, and this is what I get?
I said don't.
But it's the suit that's changing him. It's not Peter.
I saw your story.
Peter is not acting like himself. It's the suit doing that.
I tried to tell you about that.
Yeah, but you didn't, did you?
I can't lose this job.
You're such a moron, MJ. I can't lose this job, Pete. Go work for the Daily Globe. Like seriously. also, you wrote an article, and you weren't even like a. You wrote an article about like on Spider-Man he was being, and you left out the part where he was being controlled by an alien. That's so disingenuous, and puts Peter's life, put his life in danger, because there could literally be ordered a manhunt on Peter by the authorities. And you decided to do that. Are you kidding me? Like, this just makes Peter even more angrier.
Job.
And you don't even know if Peter actually remembers what happened last night, that he was like trying to attack you. That also goes against the what he wants to do. He wants to protect the people he loves, yet the symbiote goes out of his way to attack MJ? That makes no sense.
Is to write the truth.
I did.
No, you didn't.
The truth is, I'm the hero here, not you.
He's
Peter
gonna
says it himself. He's the hero here, not anyone else. He does finally feel competent, but at what cost?
A lot of work to do.
It's the suit!
And as usual, looks like I gotta do it myself.
We skip ahead to one of the best fight scenes in this game.
The best fight scenes in the game, and it's just Miles being like, "You're strong, Peter. Don't do it. You're better than this." It's just like generic things he says to Peter to make him take off the suit. Like, it's not even Peter himself. Like Miles has not been involved in the symbiote story throughout the entire game, and for some reason, he's the one who is gonna help Peter get out of the suit. It's not MJ, the one who's supposed to understand Peter better than anyone else. No, it's Miles. And Miles is the one helping Peter. You're seriously telling me he's not nerfed?
Peter and Miles. There's a few key moments of dialogue in this scene, so let's dissect them a bit, starting with this.
Oh my god.
I could have fixed everything! How? By strangling him? That's not what we do!
So this works on two different levels, I feel like. One, Miles is using we. So to the people who think that Miles got buffed and sees himself as like the only Spider-Man, pay the fuck attention.
I'm sorry. He's literally... No. Again.
Two different levels, I feel like. One, Miles is using we. So to the people who think that Miles got buffed and sees...
He says that in relation that they're Spider-Man. He says that in relation about the fact that they're both Spider-Man and they don't kill people. Of course he says we, because they don't do that.
Himself as like the only Spider-Man, pay the fuck attention.
This has nothing to do with Peter being nerfed.
He himself doesn't see it that way.
How about you stop like making things up?
Secondly, on all accounts, Peter is technically a better Spider-Man here with the symbiote, but he's so deep into it with the symbiote that he's losing himself, his morals, his integrity. Peter doesn't want to let go of the control.
How is he a better Spider-Man if he...
that he feels. All this to say, Peter knows he's tired too. Whether subconscious or not, he feels it, and he's trying to make up for it.
Don't try to mentor me! You're the one running away from your problems!
This again is just...
Was he? What did Miles... I'm sorry, what did Miles do in the game? Exactly. He's running away from his problems. Oh, he needs a call. All he has to do throughout the throughout the entire story is there was a college essay that he had to do, and he was going to look for Martin Lee, but he still doesn't want to kill him. He didn't kill him. So what's the story? So what are you even talking? So I don't even know what Peter is talking about.
Classic transference. They're both running away from their problems, just in different ways and from different aspects of their lives.
Where did Miles run away from his problems? I'm seriously questioning. Where does he run away from his problems?
Peter is projecting here. Another key moment of transference is when Peter says this.
I need this suit. It makes me a better Spider-Man. You just want it for yourself.
There's been...
Why would he think that? Why would he think that?
No hint of Miles wanting the symbiote. Peter's just on some nut shit at this point.
All I want is to save you. I'm the hero. I don't get sick.
Okay, so look, I'll be frank and say that I know Miles has been set up to be Spider-Man, like the main Spider-Man of New York. For a time though, but we'll get there. This line right here is a great summation of that arc between those two. Miles wants to save Peter from not only the symbiote, but himself. Whether or not he sees Peter hurting internally, the message that Peter...
I'm sorry. The reason he wears the suit is because he wants to protect his loved ones, right? Why does the symbiote? Why did the symbiote not give Harry another suit? Why did he not? Why did he not give another symbiote to Harry? This is something I question because later on in the game, Venom infects like other people with symbiotes and turns MJ into Scream. Yet for some reason, early on in the game, the symbiote just doesn't give Harry another symbiote suit, where he could be actually cured. Why did the symbiote not do that?
Peter needs a break is speaking through Miles. Peter, on the other hand, is quite literally you. People who think Peter is supposed to be infallible never get hurt, never get hit. Spider-Man is the hero. He doesn't even.
Yes, I understand what the point of. Yes, I understand what they were trying to do. That does not mean that Peter is not nerfed, because this isn't our argument. We're not talking about what the themes of the story was supposed to be or what Insomniac was trying to do, because what the actions that Peter takes in the game and what the game constantly does to him during the fights and everything is getting nerfed.
Against everything Spider-Man really is. Spider-Man gets hit, he gets hurt, but he stands back up, and that's
something that Peter should already know.
That's what makes Spider-Man who he is. But this,
I can't let this go. I'm finally everything everyone needs me to be.
Is a rejection of that idea. Like the people who think that Peter was just nerfed to show Miles as being better, and like I get now.
Miles literally saves him in the fight. He has the symbiote, and Miles literally is the one who saves him during the fight.
In the story, but to say he was nerfed is just.
He's literally the one who saves him. How is he not nerfed?
It's extremely disingenuous, and to me, this shows you have no media literacy.
You're so.
Because you didn't like the story doesn't mean it was bad.
It has nothing to do with me not liking it. We are literally putting the facts right in front of everyone, and for some reason you're just denying everything, despite the fact that everything we laid out is everything that happens in the story. Just because I don't like it, there's nothing to do with me liking it or not liking it. Even if I liked the game, I would have. I liked the game. I still want to play it, but I still think the story is stupid.
I know you're hurting, Pete, but you're better than
Me liking or not liking it has nothing to do with the story being objectively bad.
this. I know, but no.
Like, what the hell? Like, I don't understand.
Alright, so let's talk about this scene too. So Miles does know Peter is hurting. He's still grieving. His work is.
I know you're hurting, Pete, but you're better than this. Like, this is the most generic freaking dialogue I've ever heard to try to get him to stop being in the symbiote suit. What the hell?
Sloppy and he's tired and overwhelmed. Miles has nothing but sympathy for him at this moment. Even when he's low-key beating his shit in. My favorite part of this scene is when he says,
The people in my life, they keep dying. I blame myself for that. They needed a hero, and
This is stuff that Peter should already know.
some Sue could save him. Maybe I'd be in your shoes now.
and I feel like it's so black and white. It's like, wait, black, white?
You smart.
But no.
What is...
Miles himself is saying
this is
that
such
he
a
understands.
stupid joke.
You're tired, but this isn't the way to save them. You need to save yourself first, and only you can do that.
You gotta be stronger than that.
You gotta be stronger than that. Like,
This time,
how does that save? How is that saving Peter? By the way, how is that gonna save Peter? If the symbiote just told Peter, we could heal Harry by just giving him a suit. Like, what is Miles gonna do then? Huh?
you have to save yourself.
You have to figure out what serves you and put your energy into those things. But Peter, never wanting to let anyone down, he just can't. This battle is a battle within himself as well.
It's a battle within himself, despite the fact that it's Miles telling him to stop being a prick.
Not just with the symbiote. Again, we have to look deeper into what the symbiote represents.
You're the one who's looking too deep into. You're the one who's reaching.
Real quick, look at this sick ass picture I took of Venom. But now, we get to a part that so many people online cite as Peter being nerfed.
Oh no.
This is kind of how I knew people weren't media literate and how I knew that people did.
Because of the fridge. Don't start talking about the. You left out the cane. You left out the part that Harry was like swinging his cane, and Peter was unable to dodge that. And
I think in context of character moments and feelings. So let's analyze, and I mean truly analyze, the infamous fridge scene.
Yeah.
But before we get there, let's look at this opening scene. We heard the phone call and how it abruptly ended. You know,
you're not gonna. Swear to God, if he's gonna say that Peter is like he's like stressed or something or tired or something, I'm gonna riot.
Peter rushes in and is probably assuming the worst here, but instead we see MJ and Harry looking calm and collected, if not a
MJ isn't calm.
Bit tense. Peter knows he's dangerous, but Harry is just sitting there. Peter's confused. I know he doesn't want to hurt his best friend, so he's incredibly respectful. And Harry looking calm and collected.
Oh wait, he meant Harry, not MJ.
Not a bit tense. Peter knows he's dangerous, but Harry is just sitting there.
He's actually out of character in this scene. Like, for some reason, he just decides to scare his friends and everything. Like, that's so out of character for Harry. And later on,
confused. I know he doesn't want to hurt his best friend, so he's incredibly on edge right now. He just wants to talk. But once things come to a head,
he literally hurt him and he hurt MJ later on.
And Venom / Harry realizes Peter won't help him. He hits him into a fridge. And obviously pretty hard because he pushed both MJ and Peter into this fridge. Now immediately upon getting hit, he tried to lurch back up, but is hit, by the fridge. Now he probably didn't realize the fridge.
Look how long he takes to get back up.
And let's take a step back here. Spider-Man feels pain, but being super strong gives you strength, not invulnerability to pain.
Yes, but Spider-Man has super durability. He has super durability.
See, I don't see how
a freaking fridge falling on him is like nothing for him.
Spider-Man being pinned is such a hot topic. Think about this. His childhood best friend is a global threat, is already a citywide threat. Harry / Venom has killed earlier in this game. He threatened his girlfriend, and all Peter.
He has super durability and he's super strong. You're seriously gonna tell me a freaking fridge? Him being nerfed by a fridge is like, that's pretty normal for Spider-Man because he's tired, guys.
He really feels comfortable with initially is talking to him. He doesn't want to fight him. He's not emotionally ready for this fight. Physically,
he's not emotionally ready for this fight,
sure,
which is why he just stands there, and for some reason MJ reacts faster than Peter in this.
But emotionally, that's a pretty heavy toll. Now his friend just attacked him pretty hard at that, and you get slammed by a fridge out the blue. But with that being said, I want to take the time it counts for Peter to get back up.
Yeah, that's an issue though. Look how long it takes for him to get back up. You literally counted. It takes like 12 seconds for him to. It takes 12 seconds for him to get up. Are you kidding me? He should get up instantly. Look, yeah, that's an issue though.
So it's about 12 seconds here.
That's an issue.
12 seconds isn't that long of a time, dude.
Yes, it is.
Dude, and even
12 seconds is really long.
So, have you ever watched a TV show? Have you ever noticed when a character does something, it'll pan to another actor and then they react?
No, you're not making this freaking argument because Peter is still in the scene. He's still there.
It takes the person 5 seconds to react to whatever they were reacting to?
Yes! Because we are expecting Peter to actually be competent at his job as Spider-Man.
I'm smart enough to realize that those two scenes took place at the same.
You're just making excuses, bro.
Parallel action is where the film cuts between two or more different stories that are related.
It's not two different stories. It's not two different stories.
We expect the scenes to be happening at the same time and in the same place.
It's happening at the same time at the same place.
Realistically, this scene probably took place.
It's not two separate stories, bro. Peter is still in the scene.
It's in a much shorter time than 12 seconds, but instead we're shown what Harry was doing. I think this scene played out more like this.
So what? So what? Peter was just standing there and he didn't like attempt to actually save her?
If we're accounting for real-time reactions, I know you're probably
No. You just cut all of that. You just cut all of that, despite the fact that it's still happening within the scene, and Peter is still there. If it really should have been edited like that, then it should have been edited like that. Why make this whole thing that he takes freaking 12 seconds to get back up?
find some stupid argument regardless, but
your argument is stupid.
I think most of the
yeah, that's your take, but your take is stupid.
Points are disingenuous, and
you are being disingenuous.
Your real lack of media literacy. Like,
you are lacking media literacy.
You can absolutely debate this in the comments, but I need you to watch the whole video first before you do so. Now, we touched on Peter's hesitation to hurt Harry. This scene here, Peter could have started beating Venom's ass, but he didn't want to, and that unfortunately gives Venom enough time to turn MJ into Scream. Now, okay, Scream is such an important part of this video.
Oh
it
no!
Shows how Peter not taking a break is affecting their relationship. Here we get James such these.
This line is stupid because Peter literally told MJ early on in the game that he's gonna handle it, that he's not gonna let her pay the mortgage.
I have a job.
And he has it. Yeah, exactly.
We'll be okay.
For how long? What would the city do without Spider-Man?
It would die. Okay, MJ. The whole Devil's Breath thing. What would the city do if Spider-Man wasn't there? Huh? Can you answer that? Huh?
Look how it's doing with you.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
This is so stupid.
I know you will because you're Spider-Man fans, but does the symbiote not enhance who you already are, what you feel inside? This is MJ finally telling the truth.
Yeah, but this is stupid because why would MJ ever think that about Peter? She's the one, she is supposed to be the one who understands Pete the most.
With no filter, and it hurts, but it's the absolute truth. The truth that Spider-Man, that Peter needed to hear. Peter needs to focus on being
Peter needs to hear that being Spider-Man is a bad thing?
Peter, and healing his relationship with MJ, but more importantly,
that has nothing to do with being
himself. He needs to focus on the things that serve him.
Yes, of course, with great power comes great responsibility, but Peter should just stop being Spider-Man, I guess.
And real quick, I'd be f***ing tired too if this was happening to me every f***ing day.
It's not happening to him every day.
But anyway, let's go inside Peter. At this point, Peter gets gangbanged by Miles and Lee in an attempt to save.
I'm sorry. No. I'm not buying that this happens to him every day. When once again, in Miles Morales, he literally took a break and went to Europe because he thought all of his villains were behind bars. So he can actually take a break.
Peter. Here we get an insight into why Peter is the way he is. We see the raft and all the people he's put away, and the fact that it's here shows that while he has a duty to these people, he still feels guilty for putting people away. He recognizes their humanity.
He feels guilty for putting people away?
Despite their crimes. Much like with Tombstone from earlier, we see his main villains who still occupy space in his head, and I can't help but feel like this scene is reminiscent of the scene in the first game where Peter gets fucking demolished.
Yeah, but that made sense because he was being overwhelmed by by 6 bad guys. 5 technically at that point.
I think this fight scene took a lot out of him mentally. The fact that that sequence still plays in his head says a ton about why Peter.
No. I'm sorry. Okay, that's a nitpick, but like that's not the scene. That's the recreation of that one trailer. That's not the recreation of the Sinister 6 beat up.
Peter is so tired. You'd be tired as too if the whole squad just beat your ass. But here we.
They were behind bars at the time when Miles was in Miles Morales, and he took a break. He took a break in that game. How are you forgetting that?
See the prison break, which is reminiscent of the citywide outbreak that happened in the first game, which is probably extremely overwhelming for Peter. Hell, listen to the conversation Miles and Lee have here.
Everyone he puts away, they keep coming back.
Must be frustrating.
It's like they never stop.
But let's skip forward a bit.
This game is so subtle with its freaking dialogue.
This fight only stops due to the symbiote.
The symbiote. He killed them all.
The problem solved.
But not just the men,
That's not
but the women and the children too.
It might be how he feels.
All these villains. He really thought the suit could solve it all.
Look, it's killed them all. Problem solved, right? See, Peter feels as though...
Ah yes, because apparently the symbiote is the one that can kill all these enemies. Oh, Peter.
this suit can help him defeat his enemies, but it's a temporary fix. A temporary solution to feeling...
But if Peter wanted to kill these bad guys, he could have done it. If Peter really wanted to kill these bad guys, he didn't need the symbiote.
Overwhelmed by his workload as Spider-Man, but unless he starts killing, his problems will still be there. But anyway, let's get to the heart of Peter's trouble.
I can't believe this is Spider-Man 10 years and he's
troubles. As Miles walks into Aunt May's house, he's hit with Peter's memories of things she said to him. As Miles attempts to enter Aunt May's room, he's pushed out by the symbiote. The symbolism here is that the symbiote, aka Peter's crutch, his inability to really take the break to focus on Peter, is pushing him out. He's trying to repress that memory of Aunt May and how much it's affecting him. He's trying to reject the fact that he's hurting, that he can't be the Spider-Man people, including you, want him to be.
How is Peter still Peter at that point? Peter is supposed to be like a very emotionally strong character. How is he still grieving over May's death?
This is all my fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
But let's go back a bit. Before Peter gets saved by Lee, he gets chucked by the symbiote behemoth. But after he gets the cum suit, he demolishes it easily. And this to me proves that him needing a break isn't just physical, it's mental. And I mean, sure, at this point, he may be buffed, but his mind is still tired. But anyway, remember when Scream said that the city doesn't need Peter? Well, Peter pretty much agreed here.
Why would he say that?
Forming your greatest enemy. Can't say I've ever done that. Maybe MJ was right. Why would the city need me when it has you?
So you're just gonna give up all your responsibility of your powers, bro? That completely goes against.
He knows he needs.
That completely goes against with great power comes great responsibility.
A break, and Miles is like, bro, I still need you. The city still does, but still Peter is confident that Miles can handle it alone. And you know, maybe Peter wasn't.
Why would he? I'm sorry, why would Peter think that Miles, who just became Spider-Man, who is still 17, that he can handle it way better than he can? Someone who has been at this job for 10 years. Why would Peter think of such a thing?
Fully confident in Miles being Spider-Man, but after everything he did over the course of the game, he's confident he can take his break and the city won't fall into disarray. I mean, hell, remember when Peter said this?
Miles was off his game.
And I think here, this was Peter's true feelings about Miles as a solo Spider-Man, but he's proven wrong by this point.
I don't know. This city still looks like a Spider-Man job to me.
Then why does he take a break from being Spider-Man at the end? That completely goes against his balance.
Let's get out of here.
Oh no, the city still needs two Spider-Man, which is why at the end of the game, I'm the one who's gonna be Spider-Man more, and you're the one who's going to take a break and do your Emily May thing. Like, what does that what does that have to do with what does that have to do? Like, he's not nerfed. He's not nerfed, but Miles is the one who gets to do anything.
And hey, if you made it this far, you're liking the video, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe for me. If you hate the video, comment why, dislike the video, I don't know. With that being said, let's get back to it. So now we skip ahead to the infamous Miles scene where he debuts.
Yeah, he's the one who's giving therapies to freaking Peter.
This ass Colgate Spider-Man suit. And look, I get it, it's ugly, whatever, not the video for that. But I genuinely think that this scene is one of the most important scenes in this game.
Yes, the freaking 17-year-old is apparently more emotionally stable than the 25-year-old who has been going through this way more than he did.
Is saying that this
during an alien invasion, by the way, they're having this freaking talk.
main appearance here because it really does undercut the importance of the scene. You know, here we have Peter and Miles talking, no masks, about to go in to fight Harry. Peter is telling Miles how he doesn't think he'll be able to stop Harry without killing him. He looks distraught here and says,
I can't lose him, Miles. I can't do this again.
I can't lose him again, Miles. I can't do this again. Alluding back to May, and maybe even back to Dr. Octavius. Miles, in response, tells Peter that he saw May in his head, and he tells him that it's not his fault, that she wanted to save
Yeah, because apparently Peter needs to learn that from Miles of all people.
him, to save all of them. Peter reiterates that May never, ever...
Peter isn't nerfed, by the way, yet he needs help from Miles.
Much to her own detriment. Miles
He's sitting there and freaking crying.
Well,
when there's an activated invasion going on.
May, my dad, if they were here, they would want us to stop thinking about them.
This is something that Peter should know already.
They'd want us to help people.
I'm done, bro. I'm done. I'm done.
Harry's still in there.
This game is so annoying to me.
And we're gonna fight like hell to get him back.
And this is... Thank you, Miles, for this pep talk.
I believe this is Miles asking Peter for one last hurrah, you know, one last fight, and then Peter can be Peter. Miles still needs
Are you
his
kidding
help,
me?
But this time, Miles is in the driver's seat, as proven by when Peter
That's not
tells Miles
balanced.
to take the lead.
Call the play, coach.
That's not
For
balanced.
the people who hate when Miles is called Spider-Man, look at what Spider-Man calls Spider-Man as they take off.
You got it, Spider-Man.
Who cares?
But now we skip to the final fight. There's a point in this fight between Peter and Venom where
Oh,
he's attempting
this
to
fight
pull
is
him,
so
and I know
cringe.
people praise Yori's voice acting as Peter, but this scream as he's trying to stop Venom is gut-wrenching. You can really hear the pain in his voice.
Harry! Please!
I see this as a last attempt to get Harry to stop what he's doing. A way out of
It's not Harry doing that. It's the suit. It's the symbiote doing this. Harry has no control over his body in this freaking fight.
His friend.
I'm done. Either way, Pete.
We still have time?
No, we don't.
Peter is still trying to plead with Harry to fight, to reassure him that he can still save him, but Harry just can't, or won't fight, which is a great parallel to how Peter refused to fight as well, refused to take time for himself. The difference is, by the game's end, Peter is strong enough to fight to be Peter, to trust in Miles. Unfortunately, Peter's
trust in Miles, of course.
worst nightmare pretty much happens and Harry dies in the lab. Peter is even more distraught. He had no choice but to fight, and he still ended up with the outcome that he didn't want.
What does that have to... Yeah, it's okay for him to cry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay for him to cry for his death. But then Miles comes in and saves his life.
But symbolically, Miles comes and revives
Symbolically!
him. If you don't see the symbolism here. I don't
What? What symbolism? It's what literally happens!
know what to tell you at this point.
I don't know if it's gonna work, but I gotta try.
You see, what's
But now
the...
we skip ahead to Peter being
What's the symbolism? It's what literally happens. He revives him.
just a normal guy, being Peter. He's making pancakes with his new family as MJ's
What?
podcast is being heard.
You
And it's
didn't
listening to this.
explain
For
what
the
the
last few
symbolism
years,
is.
tragedy has tried to tear the city apart. But we somehow kept going. We battled sickness, evil, cataclysm. We are tired, anxious, stressed, numb.
Sorry,
We
but
have never-
how freaking lame are your characters that that their whole arc is them being tired and they need to go to sleep? Like, how lame are your characters?
Lost hope.
I swear to God, if the next Ratchet and Clank game has Ratchet go, oh, we're tired, Rivet, you take over, and Rivet and Kate are the freaking main characters, then we're gonna have a problem here.
The city needs to heal. We're all ready to return to normal, but what is normal? What if it no longer exists? Over the last half hour, I've talked about how these events have changed me. But what about you? In this ongoing series,
what does this have to do?
I will be talking with people throughout the city.
What does this have to do with
Exploring
Peter
our
being
new
nerfed?
behaviors, new routines,
What does this have to do
new
with
thoughts and
what
feelings.
what does this have to do with Peter being nerfed?
I hope you'll join me on this journey.
I don't care. What does this have to do with Peter
This
being
has
nerfed?
been Mary Jane Watson, and you're listening to The New Normal.
The new norm. The new norm.
This is about the city, yes, but it's also about Peter. And for now, this is Peter's new normal. And really quick, there's also a scene here that shows that Peter was spotted.
But doesn't that ruin Peter? That he takes a break from being Spider-Man? Because that's you said at the beginning that his arc is that to learn balance. That's his arc. If that's his arc, then why does he take a break at the end of the game? Why has he not figured out how to balance his life at the end of the game? This makes no sense.
Finally able to donate May's things, showing how now he can move on and begin to truly heal himself.
Thanks again for the donation, Peter.
And that wouldn't be possible without him setting aside Spider-Man, without trusting and believing in Miles.
He has to set aside the whole story of Miles is that he's being Spider-Man too much throughout the game, right? So why does he get to be Spider-Man even more at the end of the game? The whole story was about Peter learning balance, right? Or so you claim. Then why at the end of the game is he taking a break?
It wouldn't be possible without the support and understanding of MJ as well.
Yes, I'm gonna take a break and let the 17-year-old fix all my problems.
Things up. We see Peter and MJ talking about how he needs to tell Miles that he'll be retiring for a bit, and Miles more than understands.
And he's not taking, and he takes off his mask here.
Miles, I've been meaning to talk to you about something. I mean, I have been talking to you all the time. It's great to talk. So many good talks. I just haven't been talking to you about what I should have been talking to you about. Pete. Wait, let me start again.
I got this.
I got this. I get to be Spider-Man even more, and you get to sit here and do your Emily May Foundation thingies.
All of it.
This is so stupid.
Go be Peter Parker for a while.
Are you sure? It's a big city.
Balance. It's balance, guys. But I'm just gonna take.
For advice.
It's balance, but I'm just gonna move away my responsibilities.
You don't need it.
You don't need it? No. Stop. Yes, he does.
I got
Hello?
this. All of it. Go be Peter Parker for a while. Notice he didn't say, hey, stop being Spider-Man forever, huh?
No one is saying he stops being Spider-Man. The issue is he takes a break when the entire point of this game was that balance, despite the fact that this is something he learned in the first game.
I got this.
How are you not understanding
You're
this?
washed. No, he understands Peter is hurting, that he needs.
You're saying Peter is not washed, yet throughout the entire game you say Peter is tired.
To heal. He's gracefully accepting his role as Spider-Man, and it's a passing of the torch moment, but it's temporary, and they both know that. To say that Peter Parker was nerfed is disingenuous. And
no, it's because he literally gets nerfed in
the people saying this didn't pay attention. They play because they got to be Spider-Man again.
You
because being a superhero is fun, you know? The power
up,
fantasy is fun. But what happens when you lose the people you care about in the process? You have to make extremely tough decisions as a result. When you've been doing it for the past 10 years non-stop.
Exactly! That's the entire point we're saying here.
Okay, so listen. Do I think Peter was nerfed? Yes and no. He was.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You spent 1 hour saying that he's not nerfed, and you didn't spend a single time saying why he was nerfed. You believe that he was nerfed, yet the title of your video is Insomniac's Peter wasn't nerfed. You said he wasn't nerfed, and at the end of the video, you said he is nerfed. I can't believe you.
This weakened, but it wasn't without reason. And I feel like if you can't get
it was so you admit he was nerfed. I can't. This is so funny. This is so funny.
Down with the story they're trying to tell, so be it. You just didn't like the story, and that's fine. That's completely fine. But all the
you are so disingenuous.
Make absolute sense. And the talking points I hear for Peter being nerfed are so unintelligible. It's great.
Okay, Mr. Literacy guy, explain to me why Peter was nerfed. Okay, I'm giving you 2 minutes. We still have 2 minutes left. Okay, okay.
People aren't fans of Spider-Man.
Explain.
They're fans of
Okay.
power fantasies.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Cool. But why was Peter nerfed? Okay.
Miles, on the other hand, isn't buffed to make Peter look bad.
Okay.
They're using Miles to show how much Peter needs to break.
Okay,
Miles
cool. But how was Peter? But how was Peter
nerfed? He hasn't
nerfed?
lost as much simply because he's the newer guy on the
Okay,
scene.
cool. But how was Peter
I can
nerfed?
almost guarantee that.
Okay,
to be
that's cool.
Spider-Man is to lose.
That's
to get
cool.
hit,
That's
to
cool.
get hurt.
But how was Peter
Spider-Man
nerfed?
always rises
Okay.
again,
Okay.
no matter what.
Okay.
And that's what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man.
Okay,
If you still
cool.
think
But how was
was
Peter
nerfed
nerfed?
at this point?
But how
you
was
didn't need a YouTube video?
You said Peter was nerfed. You said it. You said Peter was nerfed. Explain why he was nerfed.
Lesson in empathy.
You need admit you are the one who needs media literacy, bro.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. What, this video was garbage. What was that? I can't believe he ends off with saying, was Peter nerfed? Yeah. Yes and no. He doesn't even explain why Peter was nerfed. And he said, oh my god, I spent 2 hours. I spent 2.5 hours watching this video, explaining my freaking reason, and he says Peter is nerfed at the end, and he doesn't even explain why. And he says it's just because we don't like the story. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Wow. Okay, wow. My god. I can't believe he literally says Peter was nerfed. So yeah, that video was terrible. I'll give it a -5 out of 10 or something. Come on, what was that? Come on, you didn't you like skipped over like half of the freaking times where he was nerfed, and you just talked about him being tired all the time. If he's tired, how is that not nerfed? I'm so confused. So yeah. I'm bad with outros, so I hope you enjoyed me watching this rant on this freaking video. Oh god. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.